Morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. How are you all doing? Hopefully you all had a good weekend. You got off the screens. You went and did something fun with your family and your loved ones, and you've come back nice and refreshed, because last week was an amazing week. I can guarantee you this week is going to be absolutely incredible for those who are willing to be patient. Okay, for those who be willing to be patient. If you were looking to short the lows overnight, well, you're not looking left and you're not looking at what we probably need to do, which is build out liquidity, and you definitely ignored the newsletter. All right, so starting on the daily. All right, starting on the daily, you can see we came into a huge RBS zone on the daily underneath a big pool of liquidity. All right, and not for the first time, we have found a bid on here. Now, Friday was most definitely a sentiment shift in the market. After a big move like this, what do we expect? Some form of pullback. We're starting to see that pullback. Now, this might last just this morning and finish. This might last 2 days, and we'll see if the market starts to sell on Tuesday or Wednesday. We don't know. But this pullback is probable. Where is it probable to? Well, we can think about the midpoint. We can think about the 20-day. We can look at fibs. We can look at liquidity. We're going to do all of that before we get into it. But even from all-time high down to this low, all right, we've got a bit further to go to the fib. 700 to 800 is a very, very interesting area today for many, many reasons. So we're waiting to see if and when this pullback finishes to see if there's a move back down towards here. Now, at this point this week, if the buyers come in and protect the lows, then they're going to go back to the top side again, and we're going to build out a range in here for a second time. Once we've finished building out a range in there, if there's a failure, all right, then we're going to see if we get acceptance for a move down, or if we then find acceptance for a move up. But we need to build liquidity out, just like we did in here. If we think about this, and then we went. All right, we're going to need to build some liquidity out in here. We can't move single direction unless the market goes full risk off and it's all done. All right, let's move into the hourlies, have a little bit more of a look at that. I'm going to kind of push this chart up a little bit bigger. All right, let's just focus on this one. All right, so this is basically your big green box down here, the gray one that we had. This is our big over under. In fact, I can make it green so it lines up, and we've got a little line underneath. So you can see we're finding a bid off here. Remember, this is the 2-week or 2.5 week balanced range right in here. All right, we talked about that already. We've gone over it many, many times. Friday's failure, all right, did not stop at previous week value area low. It gave it up and it rotated all the way down to this range, which is a huge move. All right, so we're coming back up to the top side, all right, of this 2-week balance range now, up to here. Above that, we've got some resistance points, all right. Why? Because we had previous week value area low. So support might well become resistance because we couldn't hold a bid off it. So ultimately, you can see I've measured out Friday's move, all right, from highs into PDC, all right. Half back is where we're at now. Above that, we have golden zone, all right, and golden zone lines up pretty well with the week prior's value area low, which is this potential R level. So I'm watching to see if the market can squeeze up there, and then if we see a fail between 700 and 800, somewhere up there. If we don't see a fail between 700 and 800, then we're going to come up to 980s, and if we get through 980s, we're going to come and test previous week value area low and previous day value area highs. But I'm thinking this market probably ideally extends up to here and finds some form of failure, and we build out liquidity for in here for the next few days. That would be glorious, right? Because even if we want to be bearish and we build this out, we then have liquidity for this. And if we want to be bullish and we build this out, we then have liquidity for this. All right, so I'm looking for a drive up this morning towards 700 and 800s. Ideally, that would be more ideal to then fade back in, and then we can think about the bid either on previous day point of control or previous day value area low for that return back inside again. So I'm expecting kind of this move today in here. That's my expectation for the day. If we scroll this down and just have a quick look at Globex, I am already up nice on the day, so I'm not going to be forcing my way around this. Right, if we have a quick look at Globex, right, you had the opportunity to get long through the 29,000s. you had the opportunity to fade the 300s, rebid the 29,000s, fade that, rebid 29,000s, and once we got through the 300s, look, that's where the squeeze started. Surprise, surprise. Why? Because we're back inside previous day's value. All right, so there is potential that they could rotate the whole of previous day's value and come up to 30,140. We're asking a lot for the market to do that. We can't rule it out. Technically speaking, it's possible, all right? And if it's technically speaking possible, then we don't rule it out, do we? Anything is possible in the market. All right, moving up to lower time frame. So you can see some of these areas of interest for me up here. We also have the cool walls up here. So this is, you know, this anywhere up here is a level where I'm interested if this market peaks out and we look for this kind of move. All right, and we can get short down into here, cover some of these, and if they want to hold and rebid this, we can get long back up, and if they let go, well, then we can think about adding short again. So anywhere up here off the open, any big squeeze will probably perk my interest. All right, let's look at some of the other indexes, start to understand why we're moving and where we're moving. Same kind of story here on ES. All right, if we just do like a half back. All right, we're just going to go to previous day close. Half back's just above, so 477. And then you've got golden zone above into this big level. All right, so I'd be watching basically anywhere from 477 up to sort of 500 and 520s to see if they peak out and fail. That's what I'd be watching. And if we start reclaiming all of that, then it's a completely different game on our hands. If we look at the spiders, all right, nice gap up on the spiders. This can now go to red very simply because we didn't hold it. All right, we're in neutral point of gamma right now. High volume level. If they can bid, this is where they're going to try and bid to. All right, it's where we broke down from. Very simple. Support might become resistance. Surprise, surprise, there's a cool wall there. All right, so it really depends. Do they have this extra bit of squeeze in it for the 750 move, or does that come later in the week? You know, do they fail here at the open, build out this liquidity, and maybe later in the week we look for some of these? I don't know, folks. We don't know what it's going to do. We can only look at the key levels and trade those key levels. Qs, same kind of story. I'd argue that this probably needs to move a little bit higher. All right, for this breakdown level. In fact, let me just draw it out again because that needs to be thicker. All right, so that's the first level perking my interest. And you can see we've got a cool wall up there on the Q. So sort of 720s up to 725, somewhere up there. All right, that's your sort of under over. If we move up there, see some failure, then we see this rotation back down and we'll be covering down here. And if they want to rebid that, they can. Once we get over this and start holding a bid, then we can rotate all of this from Friday. That would be taking out Friday's highs. So I don't think we see that today, but I do think it's possible for later in the week if this whole thing's a giant trap and they're going to hold the bid. Okay, crude coming back down. All right, why? Because we had the news every single day, save the market with the war's almost over. Israel now want to join and the war's almost over. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. That feels very much like a let's put this headline out to save, but nothing's really happened, really. If we just think about where we are, we're just doing this dance. Nothing's really changed there on crude. Okay, VIX. We had a big swipe last week. We're coming back down in off that. It will probably find a bid somewhere. If it really needs to move all the way down, we can move this up. If it really needs to move all the way down to its RBS zone, it will. But I don't think that will be the case. I think you'll find that VIX will find a bid and retest 20s at some point, probably in the next 2 to 3 days. So I'll be watching to see if that comes along. Right, SOXL, big bid. All right, back into key level. We can move this up a bit into here. All right, and this is going to be red. All right, so we came down. If we just zoom out of this, where did we come down into? RBS zone. We actually came deeper. There it is. That's the top level. And this would be the bottom level. All right, and we found a bid, and we're probably over half back for that move, I would say, at least half back. Yeah, into golden zone fib. Finding that drive up. If we do the same thing from all-time highs down to the swing low, right, half back is 30s, all right? Resistance is under 30s. So again, Why is this moving back upside? Well, Marvell's getting added, circulating the news. It was an overextension on Friday without a doubt. So we just see these become important, right? What you have to think about is, are all the bulls up here who are trapped, right? And this is the same for all the markets right now. All these bulls overhead who are trapped, if they're given the option to get out flat or get out for a smaller loss than they had on Friday, are they going to take it? All right, that's the question we're asking. Do bulls get out here? Are these levels defended by bears? It's really that simple. If they are, then we're going to see downside pressure come back in. Again, it doesn't have to be today. We can look at a weekly setup. Tuesday, Wednesday would be the ideal pivot. If we can push up today and base out Tuesday and see the sell Wednesday, that would be the most easy play I can think of for this market. All right, software also catching a bid. So you can see it's the whole market. It's not just over on the semis. The whole market's trying to catch that little bid to come back up. I'm going to watch this area here for software if we come back inside to see how we act. All right, let's go through the mag. All right, Apple going nowhere. Keynote is coming on Apple. I know that because my wife's there right now. All right, so keynote today for Apple. I think it's today. It's either today or tomorrow, so just be aware of that. And we'll see what happens in here. We're building out liquidity. We might go leg down, back down to that 305. Wouldn't surprise me. A fail break would look like that. All right, and a fail break under would look like this later in the week. So we can watch these 309s to 307s. That's your liquidity build out on Apple. Okay, Amazon. I don't know if that's a dark pool or not, but it looks kind of gross. All right, it definitely looks like a fail break underneath there. If it is legit, we'll be watching Amazon 250, 252s to see if there's failure. All right, if there's no failure over under 250 and 252s, then we'd have to assume that that's a bit of a reclaim and we go back into this box here. So I'll be watching for pops to fail on Amazon 250, 252s. Goog. All right, Goog actually looks all right. All right, there's the big drive down. There's Thursday. There's Friday back in. There's the failed break under. There's the hold of the pivot. All right, if Goog starts bidding over 70s, you have to say it's strong for the move up to 80. So that actually doesn't look too bad right now. We're going to build out internal range, 70 to 60, so 10 points, $10 of range there. But it doesn't look so bad right now. We start failing these 60s, then yeah, we're going to come into this box of interest for me. Meta. Okay, big sell on Friday like everyone else. Here comes the back test. All right, so think about support, 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 support will become resistance. All right, they will try and shift this down. If they can't do that and too many bears come in and get trapped, we get that upside lift. But overall, I'm bearish on this market. It's just we have to time it well right now to find that liquidity build up. Microsoft looks incredibly weak. No bid back up. We're nowhere near a back test on anything. That looks terrible. Nvidia, there's the bid back up. All right, so we're getting close to back test levels on Nvidia. Right in here. Let's just zoom this out, see if there's a bigger pivot. Yeah, I mean, right the way across all of this, anywhere in here. We're already at cool wall 1. So if we start to see failures where we are now, possibly up to 12s. All right, any failures up here, you probably get that move down to VWAP. They lose VWAP, they fill the gap. They reclaim this, then they're going to start trying to get back inside the previous range, which is right in here from Wednesday, Thursday last week. All right, so I'll be watching, yeah, sort of 12s and then 15s. You can set price alerts there to see how we react. Very, very close. Tesla, nowhere near the back test. What's the key level that we lost last week? We talk about it all the time, 420s. For some reason, this is your over-under always on Tesla. They lost 420s. They lost this liquidity build out. We failed. This is the pop back up. This is going to be sold. And I'd say 413s are the top side. If they can climb up there, you want to be selling into that if you've been long at any chance. But that looks weak. I'm just going to have a look. No, we're not. That's going to be us done because we are right next to the open. Let's get this done. All right, folks. So very simply, I would like to see pops fail this morning. That's what would make my life very easy. If we can see a squeeze up, get sold into. I'm not bullish on this market. And there's not, the only places where I would consider a bid, right, would be here and here. Probably it would need to be the lower one, 300. Right, if we come back down in here and we trap and we hold, I'd consider the bid. Otherwise, I'm going to even watch this at the moment because we've just failed that level, 560s. I'm going to see if pops fail this morning for a fade back into previous day point of control, previous day value area low, and overnight levels. That marks out pretty well, so I'm not too bothered. Let's just get a little bit of volume on here quickly, if we can, just before this open. Come on, Trading View, please don't be a pain. All right, let's see. See if we can get involved in something here, folks. All right, big buyers coming in here. I don't think they're going to get their way, but we're going to see here. Higher the better, remember, is what we would like. All the way up here would be fantastic, but if this pop starts failing already into this 60 level we just talked about, it will perk my interest. Some selling up here. There's lots of liquidity up to 600 and above sixes. Remember, sevens is the most ideal level if we can get up to 700, but if we fail this morning shove, it will perk my interest. Zooming in on the cues here to see where they are versus pre-market. We've got a bit of room. '70s getting stuck. Mag or green, other than, where's the weakness? Google, like we talked about, and Meta. Can we peek out here? Can we get a shove going upside and a peek out for Alex to get sell side into? That was the 70s fail. It actually went to 80s. Here's the bid towards this New York Open. If we fail that, I'm going to have to get sell side. Here's the big fail starting. Right, if they fail New York Open on a back test here, I'm going to put some risk on sell side. Yep. Risk on here, small piece. And watch these 20s. Don't want to reclaim of 20s. There's the sell. Nice. See if we can get a new lower day here. Beautiful. Peeled one off. We'll cut above 25s here or whatever it is, that New York Open blue line. Move my stop down. Let's get some volume on here for you guys. So that was the fail up here that we talked about. If they failed 70s, actually peaked above 70s. Short here, and then we'll see. Like if they reclaim New York Open where we're dancing now, I'll just cut it because we'll go straight back up to the upside. Paid myself some already. But if they fail here, then I'm going to look for covers down into, God, my eyes are tired, 450s and 350s. Big buyers coming in here. So far, not getting their way. Can we extend this range down towards 450s? Here comes a seller at the lows. Nice. Can we see acceleration down here, please? Bit of absorption taking place. We need to snap under this, otherwise I'm just going to take it off because we might need to build out some more. It's good though. We look good. Brilliant, brilliant. Let's get down to 450s now, please. Fantastic. Let it go. I would like them to protect this seller at 500 now. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, here we go, folks. All right, if you took that fail up there, you're already up 100 points. And if we can get down into here, Alex will be up 100 points. Here we go. Looking for 450s if possible. Stop moving down. Let's fucking go. Guess who's just up 100 points already? We're 3 minutes into the day. Thank you. Goodbye. We're done. Thanks again. Thanks again, market. Thanks again, market. Oh my God, it's glorious. Oh my God. It's such a fucking great market right now. I can not explain to you how nice this market is to trade right now. It is so good. So good. So clean. There's your covers. All right, we'll see if we can get runners going under this, but this is my main area today. Covering some here. If we get acceptance, we're going to come right back into here. This is the thick level, this grey level, I think. Yes, this is a thick level that they might want to protect. So we're covering a good chunk here. If we get acceptance, we're going to come right down into 300, folks. I love it. I love it. It's just, we're just blessed right now to have a market this good, honestly. We are absolutely blessed. We might get all the way down here. Come on, baby. Can we get three? We've got 350-ish. What do I have here? 300s. It's interesting the difference between Ninja Trader. Move this down. Yeah. Let's see. So I just want pops to keep failing now. We're runners only. And I'd say all the time we're heavy under 500, this thing can keep melting. The reason I say 5 is because where bulls came in and got themselves a little bit hurt. Remember, we're probably in a bearish market, and those bulls who were stuck from Thursday, Friday last week, well, they had the opportunity to de-risk a bit this morning on that drive up. I'd certainly say under 500s, we still stay sell side. If we reclaim that one, we probably don't stay sell side, but we are into the levels where, you know, we think the market might want to find a bid from. The grey box here, the previous day point of control. If I was a buyer, I'd be looking to buy anywhere in this sort of grey box to see if they hold. I wouldn't be looking for that right now. We're covering the shorts right now, and we're going to watch how we act up here into 500s to see if they resell it. If they don't resell it, we're done with the short for the day, at least for the morning. So here comes the retest. Now this 500 is going to be key on this retest. Anywhere up here, they will. We'd like to see them defend it. If sellers then can't get back on the previous day point of control, that would be like an indication that we can build out between here for a bit. All right, they can build this out and then use liquidity. I'm going to watch to see if they fade this or if they reclaim it and set the squeeze. All right, but we hit our main target, which was here, and the grey box. We expected a bid out of here. We don't want to be any more risk on until we see that drive up to 500 and a reaction, or a reaction in front of it and a failure underneath point of control. Yeah, lots of you killing it. I can see all the W's in chat. My eyes are very tired this morning, so it's kind of hard for me to read everything this morning. But I can see lots of you slapping those W's in chat. We had a big Friday. We had a big overnight session. We had a big opening drive failure there. Just let it build out for a bit now. Yeah, I love it. I love it, guys. I love to see it. It makes me very happy. Makes me very happy. But it's just trading very technically well right now, this market, you know, and it moves quick, but it's trading the technical levels very well. We'll see if they're going to stay heavy here under point of control. A seller get a little bit caught at 25s, right? So if they protect full 25s, we'll leave that seller at the lows caught. That down, testing that 25 guy. Yeah, still protecting 25s. There is a slight imbalance there. Under 25s, you probably get a new low of daybreak, but this is the iffy area. I want to see this lift higher at the moment and come up towards the 500s, right? The line here. I want to see us come into here and see how we react. Do sellers defend that, or do buyers bid right the way through? So I want to see us come into this so I can see what the market wants to do right now as we start to go into it. This is better. So can we lift up a little bit? And we can make a decision here. If buyers get caught here and there's absorption from sellers, we move lower. If they reclaim all of it, we're done with the shorts until we probably get back up towards 700. A decision point here towards the 5s, like we talked about. Waiting to see. Here come the buyers. Is there absorption from sellers, or are we about to bid up towards the 700s? Watching this carefully. A little bit of a buyer got caught in front of 500 there, as expected. Bit of a rejection. There's a bit of a wiggle on the tape. Sell side coming in. All right, let's see then if they reject on the second time on a push up. And we look for a short here. Can you lift a bit higher to see if you reject a second time here? Okay, starting to get sell side here. Come into the tape. They're getting absorbed at 55. So I want to see this drive tiny bit up through the 80s. There's a bit of liquidity there, and then see if they sell it. And then I'll start getting short. You just missed me. Okay. Don't want to chase it because we're moving quick. They're still protecting point of control here as well. So I'm waiting to see if they sell the 80s on a retest, or if they just squeeze through. There's nothing for me to do. They're going to just flush this without me. All right, I'll see. If we flush under point of control and under 25s, then I'll be forced to join a little bit later than I would have liked, unfortunately. Here comes the flush. All right, is there a way of me now getting in? 25 is the key level down here. It's where sellers keep getting caught. We can see if I can get in. Here we come. All right, under here. Do they wiggle under this guy at 25s? Point of control retest from the downside here. I think we're going to sell this towards the lows now. Trying to see if I can get something on here. 25s is the level. You can see the seller got stuck there this morning. Under 25s, we get a new low day. Point of control test again. It's the big over under here. Sellers need it under 25s and we'll get a new low of day here. Over point of control, then we squeeze back up towards 480-500. So it's tight. I think you're going to get lows coming. It's just whether they need to push it first. Here comes the push. Still not in this because I didn't get my fill at 80s I wanted. And I don't want to refill at 80s right now. All right, point control. Yes, not quite tested RBS. I think we're going to get flush if we come under 25. I'm going to have to wait for this now because I've missed my fill. Alex missed his fill up there on that first move. Be careful if they hold POC here, which they're trying to. 25s, you can see that 25 is a big level. They caught a seller there this morning. Under that, you'll get the flush. They're still holding that 25s and you're just chopping around previous day point of control. It's not really a nice area to trade. We did get the rejection up here that we talked about. I wanted to just see this to then get it. Didn't get my fill up here, unfortunately, and now I'm just waiting still. See if they need to build it out a little bit more before they come and attempt to do that. But 25s is the level where a seller is caught. Definitely a seller caught down there. Buyers are caught at 515s to give you an idea where they are upside caught right now. So we haven't actually retested 515. So if they wanted to retest 515s, they could. So really good hold of 25s there. Very, very strong absorption down there. Very, very good hold of 25s. ES coming back to backtest VWAP and New York Open, or definitely VWAP at least. There he comes. He's going to come back for these 515s again. Here comes the squeeze. So great hold of 25. So we can, like, you must remember that 25 is big level. Sellers are caught down at 25s. Here's the move back up to 515s. This is where the buyers are caught into this New York Open. Over this New York Open, if they hold the print there, then my bet is then that we're probably going to go to 700s. All right, because they've absorbed this grey box. They had the chance to flush it. I didn't get the second move. I only got that first move down to it. Unfortunately, didn't get that second move and hold. I'm just going to have to wait now. Here's the New York Open. ES yet to get to New York Open, so it's trying to get upside. I'm watching semis into 215s here. And it will make its decision here. If we keep printing above this New York Open, there is a chance for this to move to 700 today, which is up here where I'm really, really interested in. But we'll see. Semis are trying to move up. Yeah, they are. We're watching 215s here on the semis. Can still be the counter trend, which builds out liquidity to be sold into on all markets right now. You have to understand that we're at a precarious level because we're back inside previous day's value, but we're nowhere near previous week's value. And we have 2 weeks of buyers above us stuck. I'd say basically 770s and above is 2 weeks of buyers stuck. We are in a balanced range of 2.5 weeks of participants from 550s down to 28,700 or 600. So, you know, we're in a 2.5 week balanced with 2 weeks of buyers stuck above us. So until we let those buyers out, we're going to just rotate. We went over that this morning. We went over it in the newsletter as well. Big aggressive bull stepped in there, sub 500. Choppity chop. It's actually what we want. I know you guys won't be happy for me to say that. It's actually what we want for the next few days is some choppity chop. If we can choppity chop Monday, Tuesday, it's exactly what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a range build out Monday, Tuesday. It'd be really good. All right, failing back up here, top side. Now, the bulls now will need to hold these 70s. Right, they need to hold this area that sellers should have sold, which they sold first time. Right, sellers sold it first time. They couldn't get acceptance under the 25. We come back above. Bulls will now want to hold this area, leaving sellers underneath court. So bulls will be looking for this. Sellers will be looking for that. Choppity chop is the play, which is perfect. I'm actually delighted with that, which you're not going to be happy to hear, but I want to see range built out for a day or two. Do I use anchored VWAPs? Yeah, the New York VWAP is anchored, and I use higher time frame anchors as well. You could anchor, for example, all-time high. You could anchor that. You could anchor like the breakdown point from Friday. All right, still great hold there from bulls on this lower low volume node. So they have the chance to lift now, and if they can lift, they would love to get up here, and I would love them to get up there, to be quite honest. It would be really good for the market if we could get up there. Still watching semis into 215. It's still struggling up there at the moment. I'll give you a readout on the mag while we sat here. Equal weighted is 0.15% up. Tesla 1.95% up. Nvidia 1.68% up. Microsoft 0.80% down. Meta 0.91% down. Google 1.04% down. Amazon 0.84% up. Apple 1.28% up. Remember, Apple's been the strong one recently. Okay, back down towards this low volume node as the chop continues. Right, so we've had one really clean, easy short. Now we're just waiting. ES rejecting New York Open there on that shove up. SOXL still can't get through the 215, so still finding weakness at 215s or around 215s SOXL. Back in towards this low volume node again. If they lose this, we can rotate all the way back down to 456s, which is value area low for the day. We can just keep chopping value, which would be a high probability kind of play today. And extension will come outside of that once we remove those trapped sellers at the lows, which is 25s, right? I'm going to remind myself, yeah, 425s is where the seller is caught right now. You also have one caught at 60s. So we're just rotating value right now. If we come under 25, we can reassess everything. So starting to see weakness. ES big rejection of New York Open. Back down towards value area low here. I'll reassess this if we let this seller out at the lows. Otherwise, we can just chop it for quite a while. Here's the value area low. Bid off value area low here. Back upside we go to this low volume node. Sellers will need to resell this low volume node, and they will need to get a move under 25s. Under 25s, new low of day. So I'm interested, again, this is probably range rotation right now, so you range traders can have a lot of fun here. But I'm interested if they trap buyers, which they're trying to do right now. That last push just trapped a big ton of buyers with a failure there at 70s. So I'm interested, if they trap buyers in this node here, if they can't find acceptance through here, I'll be interested in looking at a short again. If we trap buyers in here, which they're trying to do at the moment, I'm interested in this move. Otherwise, it can just be a value rotation. So I'm going to need to see bids be very aggressive, which we're starting to see, and I'll need to see a seller come and protect Very aggressive bids here. We're not really moving higher yet. So into the low volume node now. Point of control on the day is 500. Sellers need to protect that and then get a close lower, and then I'm interested. Otherwise, it's value rotation day, and we all know Alex doesn't trade rotations. A big seller coming in here. Perking my interest. It's very choppy in here. Perking my interest here. Not seeing sellers walk down from 510s, but they're trying now. So once we move under 50s, those buyers will be trapped from the last 2 minutes. If they hold that, no buyers trapped. We haven't tested point of control there yet, interestingly. Here's the move back down towards 50s. Are they willing to come under this or not? Perking my interest big time here. How we act here, important. Holding 50s for now. Liquidity is lower if they want to shove for it. All right, I'm short. I put a piece on there. We have to stay heavy now. The break underneath those. Yes, beautiful. Right, I want to get under 25s now, and then I think new low of day. Do not want this to come back above 67s here, which is where we're about to test, because we've got a little imbalance there. Nice. Don't do the Alex trade. Got a manual stop here because I'm trying to give it wiggle because we've just created another imbalance there. If they rotate value, then I will be out, which they're trying to do. I'm out. Had a go at it. They're going to hold value. We're going to go into a value rotation, which means I'm probably not going to get a trade for a while now. So the hold of value area low, we can come right back up through this low volume node to value area high if they really want. I have to let them chop this low volume node. Looks so bullish. It certainly does not look so bullish. I don't know what you're talking about, but you need to zoom out a little bit, my friend. It looks like we're going to build some liquidity for a bigger move on the H1. It certainly does not look so bullish. All right, underneath previous week's value. All we are is inside previous day's value. All we're doing is trying to hold the bottom side of a 2-week balanced range, trying to drift upside, which at some point they will sell into. I mean, I don't know until I am not uber bullish on this market until they start reclaiming previous week's value. You think we go 800s? Like 7 and 800 is possible. It's where I'm really interested if we can get up there. Like, I really like the market if we get up there. I don't know if we're going to get up there, but I agree. Like, up there is a very, very great level for me to think about trading at. But I'm not going to have too many attempts down here. If we're going to stay pinned, if we just zoom this out, right? If we're just going to stay pinned in here, right? And they're going to chop, they will then either use this liquidity here or here, all right? And if they're going to chop this, this is what we actually want to see. We want to see them chop it. We want to see them chop it for the next 1.5 days. Would be perfect if they can chop it for 1.5 days. 100 points of rotation is tough. Yeah, you need to size, like I say, big moves need small size. All right, do not oversize in this market. Big moves need smaller size. SOXL still can't break that 215s. So we're still just chopping SOXL underneath that. Q's just held their view up on the ETFs. Spiders just held their view up on the ETFs, but they can't get a close on over that gamma level 44s. Once they close over 44s, there's an argument for them to go to 750 today on the Spiders. But again, mean reversion would be the 20-day, which is at 46s. Mean reversion for us on the 20-day, I think, is up towards 700, sorry, 728s. All right, so they held value. Alex was trying to see if they got acceptance under here. They held value. they're back up to the top side of value. If they want to hold this, they do this. Otherwise, rotation all the way back down through value, and we chop and chop and chop value, which is what I'll avoid. I want to avoid now trading inside any range we've created today of this, because I don't like trading rotation, right? That's your rotation. No acceptance above, no acceptance below. That is it. Overall movement in the market is downside, remember. Any upside movement for me is counter trend, rebalancing, for them to find sellers until we get through previous week's value area, which we are nowhere near. Nowhere near it. ES rejecting New York Open again. We're back down inside range again. And if you think about it, really what we're doing is building a wedge here. All right, we've got higher lows, lower highs inside this. That's all we have. Sorry. All right, to this low volume node, and it can come right back down to the bottom side of value, which is the 56s. Remember, that's where the buyers came in. It's the bottom side of value. If they lose the bottom side of value, we test the 25s. Under there, I'm going to look for weakness again. Here we go, right back down to value area low. So in 2 minutes, or actually in like 4 minutes, we've gone from value area low to value area high to value area low. That tells you everything you need to see. Great enter last week. I passed my first ever set of evals, 8 to 10 Apex 50Ks. Then other two got out of sync with the copier, ready to size down to micros and remain patient. Enjoy the coffee and a pint on me. Thank you very much, my friend. Super kind. All right, buyers still coming in here trying to protect these lows, but they're being very aggressive again. All right, so I still feel the same thing. If we are going to move under 25s here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. These buyers keep being very aggressive the last 15 minutes at value area low for the day. The moment these guys get out of shape, then I think we get this move to 340s. The question is, will that be today, later today, or tomorrow? But they're getting very aggressive market buying value area low right now. All right, they keep doing it. They keep bid, aggressively bidding market current day's value area low. We can't find acceptance over value area high. We can't find acceptance over under value area low. So we're chopping this area. That's where I want to avoid trading. If we get under this area, I'll think about the continuation trade, which we're trying to do now. So these buyers are now stuck. We're going to test 25s where the seller's stuck. I want to get short here for anything that fails value area low now for the extension. Because once we get under 25s, we're going to see a new lower day. We're under 25s. We should see a new lower day here now. So I'm going to have to chase a little bit here. Here we go. If we get under lower day, we're looking for previous day value area low. Here we go. Short chasing this, unfortunately, because I missed the entry while I was talking. This is what we literally just drew out for you about 2 seconds ago. This is where I'd like to target. Well, actually, on NinjaTrader, I have that at 340s. So I'm going to watch 340s, see if I can get a cover down there. Beautiful. So whoever said it's uber bullish, I don't know what you look at the higher time frame, but it's certainly not. All right, here we go. Looking for 340 cover here. It's 370s. Can I get a 340 cover here? I'd like this to stay heavy versus 400. It might need to retest 425s. Here we go. Give me 340s. We're so close. Give it, give it, give it, give it to me. Give it to me. All right, I have one of these basically. My NinjaTrader, one of these, to give you an example, is 340s, which we just tagged. I didn't get a fill there. That's very annoying. That was it. How did you not fill me down there? NinjaTrader, that's very naughty of you to not fill me down there. Congrats if you got it. It didn't fill me. I don't know why, but it didn't fill me. Hopefully the pops are sold into, otherwise I'm going to get very salty here. Oh, seriously? All right, we need 425s to stay heavy here. Jesus Christ, man. I can't believe you didn't fill me on that. That is naughty. That's very naughty. You literally came down and hit me. What was the low print there? 41. Fucking hell. Please fill me down there. I'm not going to be a dick for a tick. If we're not going to break back lower, I'm going to have to be careful here. Getting ready to mark it out in case we don't fill me down here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right, I took a partial in front of it because I'm being stingy because I'm worried we don't break. Glad I took that partial. I think we're about to break. You're about to get it. And then I'm going to hold a runner in case we expand previous day value area low now, which means we could come down to 200s if we do that. Glad I took that partial there in front of 40s. Here we go. There you go. All right, there's your 340 tab. All right, now you'd be watching for 286 and then all the way down here to 220s. Where's Mr. It's uber bullish? Where are you? Where are you? Oh! I had to chase that a bit. Got caught teaching. Right, so why did that work? Why did that work? The reason that works was, like I said, these buyers were being very aggressive at value area low. Once these buyers became stops, we were going to see that move. This was the move we were looking for this morning on that first sell into previous day value area low. We've now tagged it. High probability move, low hanging fruit has just been taken. If we expand that now, we can think about some areas below. All right. But right now, this was the high probability move, which is into previous day value area low. If they want to bid that, they can bid that. We've just hit the low hanging fruit for the day. 2 banger trades halfway through the course now, and I understand your pre-market analysis much more better. Cheers. Nice, man. Yeah, that's all that matters. He went to the bullish streams. That's it. I mean, PW, are you bullish? Ninja Trader, are you bullish? Nutty Bar, are you bullish? Top Step, oh, you're definitely bullish because you're always wrong. Okay, Top Step, I'll trade with you. Boom, blown accounts. Bug buyers coming in here. Like I said, you got to stay heavy under 425s. All right, under 425s. If you don't see that, then we're going to come and test the big buys who are up at 450s. All right, reclaim a 425, 450. We go back inside range. It's that simple. We've now rotated previous day's value, though. Right, we've rotated into previous day's value. All right, so we knew this for me on Ninja Trader here was at 40s. For some reason on the trading view it was at 300s, but we knew. If we think about this, if you're a buyer, then you're going to support value from yesterday or Friday. You're going to bid this. And where are you going to try and go? You're going to try and get up here. Where is previous into point of control? This red line, that's what I was just looking for, which they've just done. So if you think about a value buyer, they bought this and took a partial there into previous day's point of control. If they get above this, they can look for that move. So protection of previous day's point of control there. So the guys that bid value, they kind of got their exit there into previous day point of control. Big buyers now stepped in at 80s. So if they protect 80s here, I'd say get out of this for the sell. And they can set a higher low and try and come back up to point of control again. If they sell through 80s, then we will try and move back down towards value again. So there's the bid off 80s. Right? Why? Again, it's the same reason. I'm watching where the big participants are playing. They just protected 80s. There's an imbalance there. They just held that pullback into 80s. They will now try and get a bid all the way up towards 40s. All right. I'm out of this at this point. Like I said, if it holds 80s, I'm done. So they're going to try and bid up to 40s. 40s is your current day value area low and your previous day point of control. So if they're scalping this, they'll be selling some into 40s. If they reclaim 40s, they will then try and have a shove all the way up to 500 again. This is a see money, take money kind of environment with a bearish edge. There's the failure up in front of 40s. What did we hit there? 32s. And again, the buyers now will want to absorb 80s again. This is just how we're going to like build these liquidities out. And these pops and this fail, and the pops and the fail, and the moves down and the fails and the rips. Under 80s, we're going to see weakness. So into the 80s. Under here, I will be interested again if we stay heavy underneath previous day's value. All right, if we stay heavy underneath these levels, I'll be interested in this market again. If they keep building this out, I'll think about it. This becomes the easier move for the gap fill. If they keep doing this, they can build in here. Above this, I don't want to touch short side, right? If we come back inside, today's value and previous day point of control, that's a sign of strength. All the time we protect that, weakness is still in the market. We're just running out of room because we're next to previous day's value. So I'm going to have to see us move under that for me to really perk an interest in another go. Do I manually chart everything? Yes. Every key level is manually charted. I don't use any algos or bots to chart any key levels. Other than if you're talking about previous day high, previous day low, previous week, then I use my flow zones. They automatically do it. But in terms of value, I draw it out manually. Tell you what, my eyesight is very bad today. Maybe it's just from fatigue, but it's really poor. Okay, perking my interest here again now. These buyers at 80s are now stuck, 380s. So if we keep failing that, it's going to perk my interest. ES finding a little bit of 24-hour view up. Oh, look, we looked at over at ES. Guess what ES is doing? It's trapped between New York view up and 24-hour view up. I swear, every time I look at that chart, it's all it's doing. It's literally all it's doing. All right, we'll see if we fail 80s here or if we fail outside of previous day's value. If there's a clear failure, I'll think about a sell. Otherwise, I'm not interested. So here's the move back towards 80s. They reclaim this and shove it. If they do shove it, they're going to go 40s and 50s, failing 80s or wiggle at 80s. Not interested yet. Big buyers trying to step in, trying to get a lift. Up to 440s is where they're trying to go. You can see it on the tape. They're trying to rebid this up to 440s. And ES just went view up to view up again. This is feeling more and more like a don't bother touching it kind of day right now. More and more like a don't bother touching it kind of day at the moment, it feels like. There's the 40s. So bid through the 80s up to the 40s. Through this, we go back inside of value and they can chop this range again. So this is the no trade zone for me. Sorry if you answered this. Is today's volume profile anchored to the New York Open? Yes, it is. Okay, so they're at value area low and at previous day point of control. Sellers will need to sell this. Buyers will want to reclaim this to go inside value. I'm just so uninterested right now in how they're moving this market. We've had two really nice clean trades. We'll see if we can build out and set something else up. Like I said to my Discord this morning, it's only Monday morning. We would like them to just chop this around the whole of today and maybe tomorrow morning. It'd be really good. Yeah, indicate. I'm hoping it's ready for Discord today. Look at this. Failing value area low for the session. Failing previous day point of control. Still holding the bid in front of previous day's value area low. So we're stuck right now between current day and previous day value area low. Choppity chop. Look at that VWAP chop on ES. Oh my days. That is dreadful. Dreadful on ES. SRX still can't get through the 215s. We're just pinned. We're pinned. Market not really moving. I'm not really interested right now. We're back inside value. Just going to leave it alone. Alex, I signed up on the site for the newsletter, but I never got anything. Did you use the link which is pinned to this chat? That's the question. There is a link pinned to this chat. If not, just email me and I'll manually add you. You won't get it till next week. All right, squeeze back inside of today's value. So they're back inside previous day's point of control. They're going to come back up for this upside of value now, 525s, if they can get through this low volume node. Above that, I'd say there's a big stop run to be had here today with these guys. All right, bulls want to get through this. I'm not trading anywhere in this. Going to avoid that. That's a good hold of value area low from yesterday. And I would say if bulls can hold this now, they can try and get this rotation, and through this, they can try and get up there if the market will find acceptance today. Yeah, I think we're asking a lot, but I think we're just going to chop everyone to death who does not understand rotation. Back to value area low. All right, bulls will want to bid this if they're going to rotate value higher now. Sellers will want to defend that low volume node and VWAP. It's just very, very choppy here, folks. We've had our easy plays. If you're a buyer, you just want this protect value area low now and rotate. But I would say your current day value area low is previous day point of control. It is not an ideal place to be positioning yourself. No, there's no discounts, mate. There's no discounts. Seller's been very aggressive here at the moment, trying to get back under value. No summer sale. You're not getting a summer sale. No. Look, it's guys, if you're not willing to spend $699 on a 20-hour course with Discord, with an indicator, but you're willing to go and spend that money on evals and don't know how to trade, I don't know what to tell you. Like, my traders are making big money in Discord right now. We've got some fantastic traders taking payouts every day. It's not a shitty course for 5 minutes, all right? It's very good value, price where it is. I've done worse courses for $3,000 with, you know, yearly subscriptions. I don't do that. So no sales right now. Sorry, folks. It's not even about being greedy, but I have to respect myself and the other people who've taken it. This book. Chopping around this book. Sellers getting very aggressive here. So they're still, the buyers are still trying to protect value area low. VWAP still rejecting. Low volume node not quite traded into. ES still just trapped between the two VWAPs. SOXL holding the print at 200s but can't get anything up to 215 yet. And again, being patient here. You can see we are starting to chop this level a lot now. All right, because sentiment is important here. Do we trade under point of control, under value and expand? Or is this dip held and they come back inside? I don't know, because this is the chop zone. It's everything I'm trying to avoid is this zone. So my hands are still off the mouse. We made good money already. If you purchase the course, go to the end of the course. It will tell you how to join Discord. Rise of the Foot Soldier. Which one did you watch? Which one did you watch? Tamar Bear one's the funniest one, just because of the swearing in it. But I love that series, man. If you like crap films, you know, because they are crap, but I love it. I love a good shitty film, like a B-list film. What smart money concepts do I use? Oh, well, I love using a unicorn raping another unicorn through a reaper. They rape and reap each other through unicorns. That's my favorite one. I love a unicorn. On a rainbow, and then it eats a pot of gold and then shits it out at the end. It's the best. It's the best one. It's the best one. It just shits rainbows. and there's just money flying out. That's my favorite concept to play. I'm just messing with you guys. My favorite concept is just trap traders, man. That's what I trade. Basically, I look for higher time frame trap traders, which I think is what we're going to build out the next 2 days. So what I think we're trying to do, all right, we're holding. This is your 2 weeks balanced. All right, if we think about this 2 week balance range, this is it. All right, we are in this 2 weeks balance. So I want to see bulls get trapped up here to give us this rotation down to the lows. And then if we have enough of a drive, we can see a second leg. That's what I'd like to see. If we can't see that, I'm willing to accept that if bulls hold this bid here, then we can come up to here. But that's what I'm trying to use. I'm trying to use traders' pain. Look at this chop inside this zone. I mean, every part of me wants to sell it, but we're inside value, so I'm just not going to do it. Every part of me wants to sell this right now. ES now moving that down to low of day. Just every bone in my body is like, just sell it, sell it, sell it. I'm trying to avoid doing that right now. We're in a big chop zone here. If we lose the bid here, it's interesting though. Here comes the bid. Do they lose this bid? If we move back outside of value, I'm interested, but just have to see. They're starting to lose this bid a bit here. We're right at the opening range low. All the bids are down at 70s. Oh, mate. Why are you making this so hard for me to take a trade? Let's see. Value area low on the session here. For me on Ninja, I'm watching. This is my value area low, 80s. It's where all the big buys have come in earlier in the day. Under that, they are going to be trapped. So this is a big level. There's the absorption into 70s. Opening range is what? Basically 400s. Back inside 400s, we'll go straight back up to 440s on the chop again. What's my bias for the day? It was for a pop and sell, which we took twice already. But we've hit low hanging fruits. We already hit low hanging fruits. So now my bias is build out liquidity until it has enough caught to make a decision. So it's probably just chop now till it knows what it wants to do. We already hit the low hanging fruit. That's the problem right now of looking for any more downside. We've hit low hanging fruit. And if they really want to come up here, they can. I'm not too keen to be bidding right now in this market. If we see strength and start to like hold the bid, it's interesting. We're trying to do that here. I said 80s, but I think we're just going to chop all this liquidity for a while. It could be a very long day of chop. Honestly, it really, really could. There's the 400, so they're back inside that opening range now. ES is just trapped between the two VWAPs as well. Just going absolutely nowhere. SOXL is not seeing a break over under 200, and it can't get up to 215, so that thing's stuck as well. Just the whole market, like sellers want to sell higher, buyers are just gently bidding and probably a bit scared. That's basically the story right now. Sellers probably want to sell up at the 700s and 800s where we do. Buyers are like trying to gently walk this up, but probably pretty scared knowing that it's a higher time frame pullback, and they're like, at what point do we see this shift? The two VWAPs, yes, the New York Open VWAP and the 24-hour VWAP. If you look at a 5-minute chart on ES, I'll just do it for you. We are just stuck. There you go. New York VWAP, 24-hour VWAP chart. All right. No acceptance outside of those yet. You predicted sideways. I mean, you didn't have to be a genius to predict sideways today. But Murph, if you want a medal, send me your address. I'll send you a medal. I'll send you a medal with a giant unicorn on. You can wear it proudly. And back up to point of control again. This is so boring. It's what happens when we take low-hanging fruits. This is what happens. There's the chance of a squeeze out here if they can start to hold the bid. They just can't even get through the point of control to hold the bid up here. But there is definitely chance of a squeeze out here. They've built enough. There's liquidity above. They just can't even get through point of control. Kind of weird. They're struggling so much to do anything right now. Wiggle on the tape. Wiggly, 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 Mr. Tape. Let's see. Look at this chop in this big node. Fat old node chopping. This is why Alex avoids this. We will get a trade soon. It will happen. It will happen. We've just got to be patient for it to see if we find acceptance outside. Back to value area low again. Bidding off value area low again. So my value, I can show you my value area low on Ninja is right here. All right, and you can see this where these big buyers keep coming in. Once they're underwater, you'll see a crack, but they are not underwater right now. Jelly on a plate. Yeah, did you guys used to say that as a kid? Wibble, wobble, wibble, wobble. That's exactly what it is. But this is wiggle, 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 wiggle. Someone's going to get their face ripped off. That's what this is. It's not going to be me. First trade I took was up here. We talked about before the open, all right? Ideally, I wanted to drive up here, but I said, if you just rewind the tape, this looks like a key level. But why? Drive, 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 fail. So if we pop and fail that, I'm going to look for the short, all right? I actually missed getting short here, so I added into this. Breakdown into this grey box was our cover target, and then we had another go. I can't even remember where, somewhere around here. For this move into value. All right, 100, 100. Thanks very much. Job done. We've locked in over 200 points this morning, and now we're just waiting to see what this market wants to do. It looks like it wants to break down, but we are still inside a value, and that's telling right now. My volume profile is based on the New York session, the one you're looking at right now, 9:30 session. If you want to look at overnight session, all right, or since the Sunday open, we are holding this low volume node. All right, so this is still acting as support. Not surprising, it's previous day's value area low. And there's a thin bid in here in Globex from this 7 a.m. print. So bids are still holding that right now, which is why I'm wondering, like, do they have one more shove up? But if we fail under that, well, it's night-night. Right, this is the thing right now. Buyers want to protect this. Sellers probably, if they really want to sell, all right, if they want the best price to sell, they want to sell up here. All right, but they know that they might not be given that option. So it's why you're seeing like feathering in here at the moment. I would like to see this market move up here. All right, that's what I'd like to see. And then I'd like to see something like that. Buy. That gives, I don't think we could see that today. That for me is a Tuesday, Wednesday trade. I think that's what I'd like to see. And I'm just going to keep repeating myself. We've hit our low hanging fruits for the day, right? So we have to build it out. Alex, that order you showed on NinjaTrader, are you able to get that chart through the introduction course? No, the order flow, it's a brand new indicator. I'm hoping to have it live today for current students, and then we'll have it live soon for new people. Let me just, because he did email me this morning. When do I sleep? I don't, man. Why do you think I've always got some cough? I don't sleep. I'm telling you, I've got 2 to 5 years left max of doing this, and then I'm done. And I just want to, I don't want to stream every day after that, and I probably don't want to day trade either, to be quite honest. I just want to move into managing my swings, maybe think about having a family or something else, and investing in some other stuff. I want to like invest in a production company, and I love the idea of opening up like a little wine house somewhere, cocktail house, coffees in the morning, wine in the evening, and having like an over, be really stingy and have it as like over 30s or over 40s only. Yeah, I agree, Emma. Where I live here, I don't have any. The only coffee I can get here is to go to a Starbucks or a Coffee Bean. I want like a proper Italian. Here comes the squeeze we just talked about. I want a proper Italian coffee, and I want that place to like start like serve nice wine and cocktails in the evening with like, I don't know, some nice music playing, something adult like. I don't want to go to like, you know, sound club in LA with everyone that could be my son or daughter taking pills around me. Those days are done. I need something. I need some adult conversation. Do we like shorts up here? I do not like shorts up here right now. I'll tell you why. Okay, because we've now held, if we think about what we've done, zoom out. Get rid of this. Can I get rid of that? There we go. All right, this is overnight, or this is current since Sunday open. This is today's value. All right, high probability move was this failure into previous day value area low and this. All right, they've now held that bid. If we moved under that, we're going to see weakness, but they've held that bid. Now, my argument now would be that we've created enough liquidity down here, right? And if they're going to sweep these, there's two things. If they sweep them and fail them, yes. But if they sweep and they hold the bid, this is where they're trying to go. So for me, I like trading momentum, and I'm not going to guess the top. I think there's a good chance we come and trade through all these stops up here at this point, honestly. And ES is now through both of its VWAPs to the upside. So if that starts holding a print over New York Open, that is a good sign of strength. Q's the same thing, and your SOXL is coming back up towards that 215. So I don't like the idea of shorts right now. I could be wrong, and they might just chop it right back down to the low of day. But I would say we've had a lot of very aggressive bulls here. And if they hold this now, they will try and do this. That is my feeling, let's say, feeling on the market. If they hold that, they will try and have that lift higher. So it's not like I'm pro-trend bullish, but I think there is a chance for this to squeeze a little bit higher right now, take out these stops and move towards the highs. So if you want to be bidding on, look at that reaction. There you go. We just talked about it, didn't we? So if you want to be bidding on that, it looks good, especially if it's willing to start holding prints over 522s, which is where a big buyer came in this morning. If they can get back above 522s, you're probably going to see a new high of day. So I'd be watching this. If they can hold 70s and 50s to the downside, it's probably a dip buy for a move back over to 520s. And over 520s, there's a good chance to come and test 73s and then high of day. So I'm no longer... I am bearish higher time frame, but I think there's a chance for this to lift higher. That's my best way of putting it right now. Higher time frame is still bearish, but I think there's a chance lower time frame we need to move higher first. I can be wrong. They can rotate the whole of value again if they want. They can absolutely rotate the whole of value, but I would say bulls have got the chance to basically do this right now, through here to here and over that up to there. That's what I'd say right now is starting to potentially shape up now that we've built this. Because why? We hit low hanging fruit And we've set a series of high lows now. All right, and we're holding this volume. So anyone who's trying to sell down here is now stuck, and this becomes available now. And that's a strong move. Right, see the strength in that? That's a strong move. That's a good indication of momentum shifting. There you go. Look at this. Starting to hold. They get above the 20s here. Why? The reason I'm saying 20s is where a buyer got caught. They can get above 20s here and they can run the stops at sort of 50s and 60s, and you probably see high of day. And that would be my bias right now for whoever asked for the short term. So over the 20s, you should see a lift towards 50s and 60s, and then through that now you should see high of day. Oh, did he just draw it out before it happened? He might have, but he didn't give me the signal. He did. He did if you listened and watched. Shorts trapped, or interestingly, there's not that many shorts trapped. That's the interesting thing. They're all over here. Most of the shorts took place between 507s and 550s, right? But if you get through that, I'm in agreement with you. And then you can get that high day lift. So I just think it's more of like bulls have done a good job protecting value area low from previous day, right? They did a good job protecting this. So we just see now. So the 520s hold now, you should get that higher day print. Otherwise, you're still watching to see if they're willing to hold 640s to 650s. Is that six? Sorry, 460s to 450s. My eyesight, I might have to go and get a test. I feel like I can't read this morning. Tapered, not trapped. Tapered. Oh, tapering at the lows. Yes, tapering at the lows definitely took place. Correct. Tapering down here. Yes, yes, yes. Do I reckon the shorts are already out? No, not yet. You need breaks above these. Their stops are going to be here. All right, that's where they entered. Think about this. Look where they entered. Big short, big short, big short. You pop 56s, then they're out, which is why I think we're going to go higher. It's exactly why I think, because I think we're going to run these stops. That's the dip we just talked about. Think about this. All right, here's your lesson. All right. Fail to break lower. First sign shorts might be in trouble here. Fail to break lower. Okay. Big bullish bar. Liquidity built out in here. Close above bar. Low volume node can be used as support now. Pull back into low volume node, absorbs. I just said 220s is where the buyer is who's slightly caught. You hold a print above 220s, they don't have to do it first time, but print above 220s, they will try and run these stops. Once you run that stop, you'll get the high of day print. If they can't do that, they can't do that. But this is your over under right now. All the time bulls protect this, they have the chance to complete this move. Under that, I would be uninterested in this market to the long side if I was you. So far, it's pretty good. Exited at the lows. I mean, which shorts are you talking about? I don't know. Like, swing shorts? No. Like, have we seen some covering today? Yeah. Can we reprice the 20-day? Yeah. Are we coming into like big pullback levels? Yeah. But if you're talking about like the swing shorts from Thursday and Friday, have they exited? They probably, like me, took a partial on SOXX and are just waiting. There they go. Here they go. They're coming for these stops. So these, you're coming to your TPs here. Through these stops, you get high of day. You should see a rip through these stops. If these shorts actually cover, you should see quite a nasty candle up to 580s. Should be decent sized candle coming once they get through these stops on the left. Done 23K, bagged across 13 funded accounts. Have a great day. Nice one, buddy. Nice one, nice one. Nice work. Oh. Here we go. This should lift now. Once they run these stops, there's some selling here at 50s and 60s. So they're trying to protect these sellers. Once these guys get out of the way, you're going to see high of day. Here we go. Here's the candle we just talked about. Here's the stop run candle. We should keep squeezing now up towards the high. There you go. There it is. No way. Magic 8 ball. There you go. Look at the size of this candle. There's your high of day. Bang, 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 bang. Beautiful. All right, that's your TP. Lock some in. Now you can hold runners to see if they can find acceptance up into here. But your high probability move has just gone. Right, it was this. All right, it's another 100 points if you took it. We have this to this, and runners are up to here. High probability move that. There you go. Ripperoo. This thing's going. All right, watch SOXL into 215s here. ES is also into its New York Open. So if these all start printing, this is going to go berserk. I hope it goes berserk for you guys who are long. Now, you should have locked in a good chunk of your money now, and you can just hold runners to see if you come for that 700 to 800 test or not. But make sure you've paid yourself, I'd say 70%. What's really working is understanding it moments before you saying it. That's awesome, man. Taking 4/5 of the trade off. Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. And just hold that last one and see if you find acceptance over initial balance, over opening range, right? If you find acceptance over this, we can come up here. Otherwise, if all they wanted to do and all they've got strength to do is to pop this, right, and then they're going to get the IB trade back to VWAP again, which is the low volume node. Which is why the high probability move is this to here. Acceptance over this, but otherwise they can come back in, which is why you always lock in, especially on a counter trend move. And this is still counter trend. It's still a 2-week balance, right? I'm just going to have to keep reminding you guys, we are still trading inside a 2-week balance. Right, and in here, look what we did for 2 weeks in here. No acceptance, back down, fail follow through, back down, fail to break down, back up, no acceptance, pull back, and then eventually broke out from it. All right, but for 2 weeks, we rotated this zone. So it's very, very likely we do the same thing for 2 weeks. Well, it doesn't have to be for 2 weeks, but the same thing again. We rotate that zone. It's the reason we look left. It gives us edge in the market of understanding, okay, if this happened there before, this is what's possible to happen. These are the extremes. You still see 800s today. Like I said, yeah, it's very possible. It is very possible we see 800s. I don't know if it will be today, my friend. If you're long, I hope for you that it is. But it's very possible. I'd say there's more probability we see that by Wednesday. But it's possible we do it today. We're only asking for 200 more points higher, aren't we? So it's not impossible. What are my thoughts on SpaceX? I've talked about it many times already. My thoughts are the reason we are selling off, the reason I was prepared for the sell last week is because they will need to take profits to bid on $1 trillion company. I also think the lock-ins are not very long on SpaceX, and I think you might see a liquidity grab on it. I think you might see a lot of people selling. So we'll see. We'll see what type of IPO it is. But historically, everything overhyped like that has moved up day 1, day 2, maybe even day 3, and then given it all back and some. I don't think there's as much demand for it as people think. The fact that they're now letting people with smaller accounts bid on it, whereas before they were saying you're going to have, I can't remember what it was, like $200,000 in your account already or something because of the margin required, because of the volatility. They've changed that. They've absolutely changed that in the last week. And that, to me, is more of a signal of weakness if they need more retail involved. But we'll see. Willy Wonka bar, always gold, you're changing lives. Is there likelihood of rotation because of Friday's dump? Yes, exactly, Willy. So, right, if we think about the daily chart, all right, daily chart came right the way down. There's Friday into an area where we found a bid on before. Now we know, right, what is the likelihood of doing this? It's very small. There's much more probability, because we've done this before in here, that we pull back to mean 20-day, okay, and then make our mind up, right? We can build out liquidity here. Once we have sufficient liquidity built out here, maybe then we break down 50-day value area high. Maybe we break down further to old all-time high. This was a 100% move. Remember, that's 100. That's 100. This is probably a 50% pullback. Maybe not even. Let's just calculate it. Yeah, we did a 50% pullback of that move. I mean, this is a high probability area for us to catch a bid from. But once we finish this, all right, market will make a decision. But this in here, we need to build out. There's thin structure in here. Remember, Friday couldn't find a bid at all. There was no bid on Friday. Okay, so big lots coming in both sides of the tape up here at initial balance. ES rejected its New York Open, by the way. Big sell back down to VWAP on the ES. Relative strength in the Qs right now. SOXL just tagged 215 for the first time today. So it's decision point for the semis. And we're starting to see that rotation back down towards that New York Open. So if you took the IB trade here, you're probably laughing. If you took the Tyson trade, and I would be covering some into this. This is where buyers will want to hold the bid now. Right, there's your IB failure. Buyers hold the bid. This is why we say you take 60 to 80% up here. All right, if buyers hold the bid there, you have the chance to move higher. If they lose this bid, we come right back into this low volume node again. And it's going to be on semis here because they just rejected 215s. ES just rejected its New York Open. So we're not seeing strength yet in the broader sector. Weakness in ES right now. Still watching SOXL to see on the next attempt to 215 what happens. It might be that this peaks out up here. It's very possible. Hopefully for you bulls it doesn't, but I'm interested if we see failed follow through up here. All right, here's your New York Open. This is a big level. If they don't hold this, we're going to go VWAP and low volume node underneath. I'm waiting to see if SOXL will make a decision here. The New York Open, this is the node here. Buyers will try and protect this node to lift higher. If they fail to protect this node, we're going to move down into this. Still watching SOXL. I'm watching these 215s. I know they are very, very important today. Hello, sir. Sorry to bother you. I'm kind of new to order flow trading. The course is $699. I need a membership to NinjaTrader. What are the full steps to be ready for order flow? Well, if you want to do order flow, you need to do the order flow course, my friend. You need to do the order flow course, but to trade order flow, you need to understand how the market moves first. You need to understand SNR. You need to understand what we look for in terms of key levels and high probability setups and rotations. You need to understand IB and all these things. Then you can look at order flow. Traders get stuck when they go straight to order flow. They're a new trader and they don't understand structure or how the market moves. And then they learn order flow, but they never understand the key level to trade from. Everything has to come together. Order flow is not, okay, I'm going to repeat, order flow is not a strategy. Order flow is a way of interpreting and reading the market. It's not a strategy. It's a good hold of New York Open. SXL still not through the 215. It's just banging on that door right now. I'm just still waiting. Made my money this morning, so I'm waiting now to see where we're going to find acceptance. 215 banging on the door on SOXL. This is the level. That's a great hold of New York Open. ES now starting to find a bid as well. So we've got the expansion model as possible here for this market to run these highs if they stop faffing around and come up here now. That's a great hold of the New York Open. So they got to run these stops here at 606s, and then you should get a stop run higher. Now the imbalances from higher are up at 650. This is from Friday. We have imbalances at 650 and then 773. So I would like price to come up there now that it's held. You don't want to see a failed breakout here. And I want the semis to get through the 215s because that will really help this market start to move higher. Big seller coming in here, not getting his way right now at 10s. Here we go. This is good. All right. So I've lent on that seller at 10s. I'm long for this squeeze on that seller. Stops break even. We'll see if we can get this first imbalance towards 48s here. They can keep squeezing this up. Come on, SOXL, get through the 15s for me because you're going to make my life easy. I do not want this under 10s. That's where the seller got caught, who I'm leaning on. So that's my break-even stop. Nice. Just try and play the momentum in front of me. I'm a little bit late to this, but there we go. Come on, semis. Get through the 15s. Let's see what a measured move would be today. Will it get us our targets? Yeah, 700s. Come on, semis. Come on, semis. Don't stall here. They're right on the 615s. Sorry, the 215s is what I'm concerned about here. I'm going to move my stop into the money, so I'm going to protect it a little bit here. There are imbalances. Hesitating the 15s here. SOXL. Nice hold on that seller. If they don't hold this, we come back to IB, so that's why I have my stops now in the money. I'm out of this now. I'll re-add if they hold this dip in this imbalance, which they look like they're going to. Look like they've just wicked me. The semis are stuck at 215s. That's the level. It is absolutely the level. If they hold IB as well, it's another good sign. I'll consider a long down there. If they're willing to hold the bid, especially if semis can show me strength. We are bid up on everything right now. Did you just whip me out to go? Hope not. I hope you come down to IB now. Got a feeling you're not going to, though. I'll get in if I need to here, just watching the tape. Literally to the tick. It's the Alex trade. Literally to the tick. 215 tap here, semis. Need to see this break through this, and then this thing will lift. Can't believe it took me out there. Right on that seller. Right on that seller. Should have left my trade break even. The Alex trade, yeah, I think he's probably going to get it. Basically, the stop run, the guy stopped out at 10s. I moved my stop up to the imbalance and took it out. So if I have to get in again here, I will. For the drive higher. It's not ideal because we're extended from the flow zones here at the moment. Again, 215s. Still can't break through these 215s on semis. We are stuck right on that level. It's the gamma level. It's the high volume level for options traders right now. Through that, we can go 220 and 232s. We can really get going if they can get through that. But at the moment, we are stuck here. We are stuck. So I'll watch IB if they hold that. If they fail IB, then we go rotation again. Back, all the way back down to here. Weakness in ES. So we need to be careful of a fail breakout here. If they can't hold IB, we get the rotational trade. Big bid coming in here. Seller now trying to walk down. Tape's got thin all of a sudden. There we go. Books back, thickened up. Don't know what they pulled their orders there for a second. Where's the IB right now? 85s. I'll watch the bid down to 62s. If they're willing to hold. Still can't break these 215s. Once this breaks, this thing can actually start flying. Some absorption here. All right, I feathered some in here because we saw some absorption there. So I'm back in. Can we lift through this imbalance? No, instant rejection of imbalance above. Small size because I'm buying high to go higher here, which is not great. Can we lift now? Here we go. Thank you. All right, squeeze them out. Let's go. 215 break. Finally, can we hold the bid above here? Can we hold the bid above 215, please, semiconductors? And we can just let this work. Please. Please, sir. Can we hold the bid? 215.71s. Let's go 220s. Let's go 220s. Let's rip faces here, please. Let's get the expansion model on the IB. Come on. Come on, semis. There's 216s. We should get high day here. Come on. I would like to try and get this all the way up into 760s if possible. Beautiful. Lots of liquidity up here to fill. We should break through here. Come on, semis. Keep going. 216.5. Love it. Stops moving up into the money. Taking a few little partials here because we've got some liquidity. 700s is the next level. We've got 100 lot up there. Let's go. Come on, give me 220s on SOXL. We're at 217s now since that 215 break, so $2 break. I want to see ES come up to 740. That's its cool wall one. It might fail there at 740s, 7470s. Man, I am turning into a bit of a moron when it comes to reading levels this morning. I don't know if it's just fatigue or what it is, but I'm getting my numbers crossed up. Yeah, I'm going long. You haven't heard me talk about the short. I don't know. No. I drew out the long for you. I told you where I'm trying to get up to. I don't understand. You only just figured that out. Right, if 215s doesn't hold here, semis, I will cut this on the runners. But otherwise, try and see how far upside we can go. Ideally, this red target, ideally up here. And that will also work. I'm going to have to remind myself the expansion. What's the IB expansion today? Yeah. 700s will do for me. All right, I'm going to get a refill. Move my stop in. I'll be right back. Okay, coming back down to 215. Need to see him hold a bid here, or I'm out. Just can afford to pull back. I'm not going to give this under 20s here because we've got a little imbalance here. Let's get my stop here. So I want this imbalance here at 20 to hold. Couple more points and I'm out here. All right, I'm out there. I don't care. I can go higher. I made great money today. I'm not going to force my way bidding any more up here. I'm amazed. They bid so well at previous day value low. I was scared to bid down there today. I'll be honest. I was very, very scared in this market to bid down there. But if you bid down there, you are laughing right now. You're absolutely laughing right now. Maybe I should have bid really small size. Anyway, is what it is. That's where you got long, Khan. Yeah, very nice. You got long at right at previous day value low. These areas, really good. Really, really good. That's where I covered. It's not where I got long. I was concerned that they would lose that bid and travel down. I'll show you why. Oh, look at this. Stop me out to go. I was concerned, all right, that we would do a trap down into here and then reclaim. And I would have been way more comfortable playing that reclaim for that long. But there we go. It is what it is. We don't always get exactly what we want, right? But that's a great bid if you took it there. Grind back up. These are the targets up here. I'm out of this now, folks. That last one stopped me out. I didn't want to see that move under 215 on semis, and it did. And I'm now out of it, and it's okay. That's just how it is. Should giving it more wiggle. You know what Alex is like. Doesn't give it enough room. There we go. I got long 742.16 on SPY today because of your analysis. I made 6K. Thank you, sir. Let's see that. 742 on the spiders. Nice. Very nice. Well, now you're through the 744s, so you've got absolute level 45s. Through 45s, 20-day moving, if you're still long, 20-day moving average is at 46. So if you can pop the stops at 45.36s, you're going to get a move towards 46s. I'd be taking some profit there. And then your call today is actually up at 750 at the 5-day, which is kind of wild. I don't think we get a lift that high today, but you just don't know, do you? You just don't know. Thank you, Alex, for always showing up. This has been the most profitable I've ever been, and I completely understand, being that I first started with the IOF and VWAPs, anchored and fixed. Keep being great. Nice. Up 300 across 5 accounts after being down 700. Nice work, Trader Skeet. Maybe just take it easy now, eh? I always think when you have a good move red to green, call it a day. Does my volume profile include overnight volume? No, this is New York. The one you're looking at on the screen is New York. Do I ever take partials before 1R? Yes, probably, but most of my positions are not based on 1 to 1R. So normally a partial will be based on liquidity. So it's very unlikely that I take a partial before 1R, but I don't really measure it out. So I did join a bit late on, is it this move? Was it this move? I don't remember now. I'm gonna have to look on the screen. So I did join a bit late for that move, locked some in, got that next bit, and then got stopped out here. I'm only risking IB, so there's no way I took a partial before 1R. Probably should have got long here when I was calling it. Should have taken that. Should have, would have, could have. When we were talking about it, that was the long opportunity. Was this? It's beautiful. And this thing will grind. Look, what's happening now? Shorts are trying to guess the highs, right? Shorts are so adamant that this has to move lower, which it does. Probably does move lower. But what they're doing now is front running. So they're adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding before we've come into key zones. Now, there's an argument here to come right the way up here. It doesn't have to do it today, but there's a strong argument for it to do that. So what you're getting in this grind up is shorts adding into it and blowing up, and shorts adding to it and blowing up, and shorts adding into it and blowing up. And when they finished adding into it and blowing up and front running it, you are probably going to see the sell. Right, when they've exhausted themselves out, when we go buy side heavy, when late buyers suddenly join in, all the guys who have been too scared to bid on the way up will buy the top, and then we'll probably sell down from it. It's highly likely what will happen. All right, 700 on deck. That was my first target. If you remember, you got 128 lots set up here. See, just like you calling for a reversal, that's the person that's causing this move, right? Think about your mentality. You're short, 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 you're short. You leave the liquidity, you're exhausted. Late buyer comes in, smart money gets out, and then maybe you see it, not beforehand. So here comes the 700. This would be my first TP if I was still in it. Korea got burnt on a quick scalp trying to call the top. Yep, that's it. You have not heard me talk about shorts the moment we broke away from this. All right? The moment we broke away from this and held this, I've only talked about longs. I said, yeah, maybe there's an IB back into here. And I said to you, I'd be covering here because they can hold it. But the main move now is up into here somewhere. And once they get that peak out move, you'll probably see the sell. Once they peak out enough, you'll see the sell. And it can be a lot higher still if they really want to go mental. Somewhere up here would be great. Right, SXL holding the 215 bid now. I think it's starting to get motoring. Q's trying to get upside. They're coming into their 20-day moving average. Spiders getting close to their 20-day moving average, still holding the bid pretty well here. There's an awful lot of activity taking place up here. Some big boys. 820 seems to be what they're looking for, what the cool wall one. Very possible. I wouldn't be surprised if it fails in front of that. It doesn't quite make it, but we'll see. We'll see. Tell you what, though, if it gets through that, we're going to rotate the whole of previous day's value, which is insane, but it's possible. But somewhere up here, I think we'll probably peak out. Don't know when. We'll watch the tape to see when. 750, big level newsletter. It is. This is the start of the red block, right? That's the newsletter level. They want to protect that level there or thereabouts. We can peek through it and come back under it and sell. If they can't protect that level, I'd say they are in danger then of seeing the move up to 970s and then 30,100. It is. If I was a swing short on the NQ or QQQ, I would start to get worried if a bid is found over this. It would start to concern me big time. Big time. Refresh buy at 690s. Yeah, there was. No, not at 690s. Yeah, at 690s. You're right. Absolutely right. They're holding the print there right now. All right, I'll be watching how ES reacts into 480s. And this is everything we want to see. Honestly, this is what I want to see on a Monday. And then if they can hold the print up here, or if they fail and pull it back to 500 today, great. I want to see, I would like to see price hold 350 to 800 today. Stay in that kind of range for tomorrow and Wednesday. Then we get some like really good setups towards the end of weeks. You love my Michael Caine accent. I sound nothing like Michael Caine. Michael Caine. He talks a bit different from me. All right, so 720s. They're adding liquidity up at 740s right now. ES still trying to get to that 480 zone. And SOXL getting to that 220s that we talked about. So that was the target, really, was these 220s. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a squeeze up here, a peak out, and then some sellers come back in. Fucking Mo, if you're in chat, I still didn't get the Oscar Health fill. Mate, it's up 7.5%. Didn't get the fill. That is starting to piss me off. That's 3 times in a row now I've missed my long fill on that. Starting to pee me off. It's starting to pee me off. Okay, 220s coming up here. SOXL 20-day now hit on QQQ. Above this QQQ, you're looking for we'll start to see calls start to take place. 723 to 725. ES has still got room. 480s is the level on ES. And I will watch price carefully up here to see if we see a peak out and buyers get over exuberant and trapped, and then a backside move. So I will watch to see if we see a backside move up here. We have got time left. We've got 50 minutes until lunch. So we'll see if we can peak up, trap some volume, and if it sets something up to play back downside, because we've traded one direction straight up here since that IB breakout. And we're coming into the key levels, right? We hit measured move. Yeah, we just hit the 1.5. So yeah, it's perking my interest for the sells now. Anywhere up in these levels if we leave volume trapped. Not beforehand. I'm not going to guess the top. I'm going to need to see volume trapped. Right now, we've got a 600 lot seller caught at 691. Yeah, my eyes aren't right. I might have to go to a doctor, man. I can't quite see properly today. So 691. Yeah, here. This guy is a huge seller who's currently caught. Massive seller that's caught. I'm in the US. I'm in Los Angeles. Yeah. Remove the shades. You see a big buyer there. Yeah, he was a passive buyer. So if I say there's a big seller stuck there, it's because it was an aggressive seller. So there was a passive buyer there at 691. Or there actually was there as a market seller who got hurt. How do I feel about the mayor race? I couldn't give a flying F. They're all corrupt idiots. They're all idiots, all of them. They're all morons. Karen Bass is going to win. The same woman who's made sure Los Angeles is absolute shithole. I'm lucky I live in a bubble. But they're all idiots. They're all idiots. Same with the governor race. Same with all the politicians. Same with the people that are going to be your president. Same with the people running for prime ministers in the UK. They're all crooks and thieves lining their own pockets, running scams, saying that everyone else is doing it and doing it themselves. Doesn't matter if they're red, blue, in England, yellow, green or purple. They're all scumbags. One day you'll realise that. If you support a team like it's a football team because you support red or you support blue, no matter what, you've missed the whole idea in politics. Yellow, green or purple, yeah, that's what we have in the UK. We have red, blue, yellow, green and purple. You only have 2 parties here in America. In the UK, we have a lot of parties. Okay, starting to see some failures up here, but still haven't filled the liquidity above. And we're still above that 690 level right now. 220 now tagged on SOXL. Well, almost 20 cents off. You have loads of parties, but no one vote for them. Yeah, but aren't they considered independents rather than like actual parties? Or have I got that wrong? Maybe I've got that wrong. Seller piled in at 720s. Yeah, he did a 70 lot, came in there. He's still trying to fill this liquidity above. You can see it all the way up to 750 right now on the tape. And above that, 760s. Let me just have a look. Let me just have a little look upside to 800s. Yeah, just look at these, all these guys. We'll see. Wait and see if we peak out at any point. Some failures up there. Still not filled this liquidity higher. I'm still watching how we act at 690s. Newsletter called 750 is significant. Yeah, it's absolutely significant. That's why I've got it marked out from the newsletter. It's a big level. It's a really big level. All you have to do, if you look at Tuesday, all right, look at Monday the 25th, Tuesday the 26th, Thursday the 28th. It's a pivot. That's where we found support. And not the week just gone, the week before, it's value area low. All right, it's a very important level on whether we reclaim a degree of range or not. If I was a short seller, if I was a swing short seller from Thursday or Friday last week, and we start to reclaim this, I'd start to have concerns that I'm the wrong side of the tape. Is the newsletter free? Yes, it is. For now. Starting next year, it's going to be $1,000 a month. It's not, don't worry. It's going to be free. All right, ES pulling back to that IB level. Just trying to build some liquidity above IB here on the ES. QQQ getting stuck at its 20-day moving average. I'm going to watch 690s here to see if we fail under 690s or not. I'm not going to guess the top. I'm interested in this grey box I've marked out. Not before that at the moment. If we build significant liquidity higher, then I'll be interested before that. But right now, until we break underneath this, I'm not really interested in anything. You can keep lifting and lifting and lifting. Comes a move. 5-day here. They should try and squeeze this out at the moment. All right, semis above the 220s. It's going to sound ridiculous. Next spot for this SOXL to go is 232s. 232s. Wild. Nice to see my portfolio bounce back a bit today. That feels good. Man, Netflix can't really get going, can it? Still struggling a bit there. Yeah, SOXO up 20%, exactly. 21% actually. Like I said, it can go to 32s. That's where they're trying to get up to. They're all excited because Marvel's getting added to the indexes. Woo! Oh, it must be cheap then. Yeah, I know the Netflix gap. I've got it marked out as well. Exactly the same thing. Right, wiggle here on the tape. I'm still waiting to see if this can accelerate higher first. Still liquidity up there. Otherwise, I'll watch it under 690s. ES failing to get up to that 480 zone. But it is holding IB for now. Want to see this perk higher and then trap players first. That's what I'd like to see. Otherwise, I have to join under 690 for failures. Right, still, they are absorbing the tape here. All right, SOXL starting to really try and motor here. I'm just going to do a measured move on SOXL to see where I think we can go. All right, 224s, 224.61. So just to call it 224s and a half. SOXL would be a measured move from this morning's high to the pullback. And if we look at Friday's failures, lows, where are you? Fridays, peak out, 9:30 peak out to this low. Starting to get through some of that key level, to be honest. Okay, first little pullback there on SOXL, notable little stuff above 220. So I'm still watching the same stuff here. Either we're going to drive higher and trap sellers into the red box above, or the call walls, or we're going to come down under 690s. One of these I'm going to be interested in. If that's not clear for you, I'm watching to see if there's a short. Why 690s? Again, because see this volume, and in here there is a 600 lot seller. Actually 614 lot seller caught in here. He needs to be in the money for this move. All the time he's out the money, this can keep doing this. Buyers are not starting to get caught in this candle. You're not seeing closes down. You're seeing price still attempt to move higher. Please don't say stuff that isn't true. It's just not true. SOXL's broken out to a new high of day. The buys in that last candle will only be caught when you start moving under 15s. You're not seeing that. You're seeing this try and move higher. You are saying stuff that's not true. You're saying stuff that you're hoping. There you go. How did that work out? Come on, man. Read what's in front of you. Don't say stuff which is definitely not happening. You will encourage people in chat to take early positions. Well, there's quite a big difference between a buyer and a seller, Charlie. Come on. Let's at least get that right. It's all right, buddy. Still just been patient here. Big level up above. I think we're likely to see failures up here somewhere. All right, here come the sellers. Let's see if a bid comes in and absorbs and lifts it up to that 750. There's 100 lot just dangled at 750 still. Here come the sellers, starting to get very aggressive here. Right, into where these buyers last stepped in. There are imbalances here for the bid to try and hold up. This level here is imbalance. 15s and then 09s. So buyers will want to hold 15s and 09s. We are just starting to develop quite a lot of liquidity in here. You can see it. And these are the two levels still. Tempted to put a feeler on here in front of 690. If we stay heavy versus this grey box, I might get a feeler on around 19s if I can. Well, we came just short of my 750s. We're 6 points short. I still don't think we're fully cooked yet, but I might get a feeler on if we can fail 19s here on this shove up. Let's see. See if they resell this or not. I might put a feeler on. Yeah, got a feeler on there. Not going to give it room. Any room above this grey box, I'm out. It's tiny size. Need to see us flush down to 690 now. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Woo! Yeah, baby. All right. Flush 690 and then break. And then Alex has a very good core position. Flush 690 and then break. Flush 690 then break for me. Flush 690 and then break for me. Oh my God. Daddy likey. He doesn't tell me what to do. Fuck out of it. All right. Covered a bit 690 and then we'll see now. Because if we stay heavy under 690, I'll start adding to the short, but not before. And again, stops in the money, covered some 690 because they can hold 690 because there is a seller caught there. But if we stay heavy under 690 and back test it and stay heavy, I'll start trying to add. Otherwise, I've got my core position. I'm in a nice position. I still expect this to break higher, but if it doesn't break higher and they flush 690, I'm very well positioned now. Right, 690s. If we break under here and break away from it and stay heavy, I will start adding. Otherwise, we will just stop out in the move back up towards 20s. I do expect this to still try and move higher. My expectation is not that I'm right here because we're still holding 90s. But I've got a nice early position. I've paid myself some money. I'm willing to take this off. I've paid myself money. I do not care. We'll take it off if we start to break here. And then we'll add back in for the break under 690. Like I said, talked about it many, many times. So if we take this wick out high, there is some liquidity here into 20s. There's a little imbalance here. I'm going to give this a tiny bit of wiggle on the runner into 23s because I've already paid myself. My stop is at 23.50s right now. I'm watching this imbalance. They're out. Like I said, my expectation is a new high. And that's absolutely fine. So you can see the importance. Try and zoom in. If I take you to Bookmap, I hope this doesn't move the moment I try and teach you this. All right, if I take you to 690s here, if we look at the delta, it's going to be big. There you go. 535 lot is trapped sell side at 690s. That's why, right, this guy, when someone asks why did we mark him, see this guy here? This huge lot here, right? This is the pivot. Right, so I knew all the time we're holding that, we can still print higher, right? So I took that short in this wiggle here. This guy here, down to that, covered. I will add if we break below that. We can hold this and rebid now if it wants, it's fine. But hopefully that makes sense. You might need this guy to see, I might need to move. This is a big player who got stuck. All right, so we're doing this wiggle between these boxes now. All right, I've got to focus here. Alex, don't miss the fucking trade. You won't, unless you're using my tool or a tool like Bookmap, you won't see it. All right, back down to these 690s again. If we fail under here and stay heavy, I'm going to play short side. If we dunk under here and reclaim, I'm going to play long side. back up. So here's the 690s. I would much rather play a sell all the way back down to IB. So watching this now. So under 690s on a retest, I'll start selling. Here we go. I'm in. See if we can break away, and I'll add on a retest if we stay heavy. Do not want to see this reclaim 700s. All right, so I'm giving it 10 points. Not a lot of stop, but it's all I want to give it because it's where the buyer is. Wiggle here. Don't really want them to reclaim 90s or 10s. Come on, break away for me. Beautiful. Lovely. All right, let's see now, folks. Who does it like this? Who does it like this? Let's do that. All right, you can pay yourself some. I do not want to see this reclaim 690s now. All right, it's very, very simple. We stay heavy versus this or we're out. We're trying to get right the way down into here if possible. We can watch some of these whole numbers. Like we can watch these little imbalances. There are some little nodes here that you might want to protect. We are into an imbalance here. In fact, I will pay myself a little bit here into this imbalance at 58s, right? Under 58s, there's a chance to move down to 580s imbalance-wise, which will be the initial balance. So that's what we'd like to see, all the way down to 580s, please, which will be 100-plus point trade again. I didn't actually smoke the cigar at the weekend. Yeah, I was very upset. I didn't even have a drink. I ended up having quite a fitness freak weekend, and then my wife left for Cupertino because she's at the conference at Apple, so she left on Sunday. So I was like, well, I don't fancy drinking by myself last night. So yeah, I didn't even have not a drop of alcohol. I was in the gym a lot this weekend. I've paid myself some into this first imbalance here. And we just see if we stay heavy versus this. Any reclaim of this, I'm out. I'm not interested in a reclaim. What about the F1? Great race. Crazy race. Yeah, Kimi on a roller. George absolutely cooked. Max, nothing I love seeing more than Max have DNFs. It makes me very happy. And Lewis on the podium. I mean, that's pretty much perfect weekend. If you just swapped Lewis and Kimi's positioning, would it be even better? Am I going to try and go to any World Cup games? I am. I'm going to Iran, New Zealand. I got offered tickets at the weekend for Switzerland, Bosnia at the SoFi. Back of the stadium, $450 a ticket. Get the fuck out of here. What is wrong with these stadiums? And then I got an email from SoFi. Now, I don't care about this, but see how you guys feel about this. They are price gouging tickets, right? So let's say you paid $450 to go and watch a shitty game of Switzerland, Bosnia. All right, let's see if we can get down here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come to daddy. I'm going to finish this convo in a minute. Come to papa. 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 All right, we're trying to get 580s. We're trying to get 580s. Right, so let's say it's $425 a ticket. Let's say you bought 4 tickets, right? You, your wife, your 2 kids. All right, call it best part of $5,000, right? $5,000, best part of $2,000 spent. Oh, $1,800, right? What they've now said is you are not going to be allowed to use any reusable drinks. Sorry, what? You are not allowed water bottles, right? Not only bring your own, like, filled water, you're not allowed to bring any reusable container for water in. So you're telling me that these traveling families who might have spent thousands to come across the globe or just traveled within America, getting absolute extortion for their hotels and then extortion for tickets. Which way to the bank? Which way to the bank? Ugh. Come on, chat. Come. Oh, what a trade. Oh. All right, out. Most of this now. Tiny size of anything left. You can be fully done. I wouldn't be surprised if we come down to IB at this rate. But what a trade. What a trade. What did we say the high was? Look at the tap into the red box. Oh my God. Oh my God. Newsletter level 750 will need to be defended. Boom. All right. Guess what happened up here? Buyers are stupid. That's what happened up there. Buyers are absolutely mental bidding that up there. Anyway, back to World Cup chat. Right, so you've paid $1,800 for your tickets. You've paid thousands for your flights. You've paid thousands for a hotel worth a couple $100. And then you can't refill water bottles for your kids. Disgusting. Should be ashamed of yourself, FIFA and Los Angeles. Ashamed of yourself. All right, lovely work, folks. Do not be adding short side now, okay? The moves come. This is exactly what we wanted. This was a high probability move once they got stuck at the highs. All right, we had to wait. You see how patient we are? We wait. You see how patient I are? I take trades off and then put them on. Aggressive buying at the highs. We vacate the 20s, but the big one we left was the 90s. All right, so to give you an idea here, I had 2 goes at this. We had a go here. All right, we took this to this, and I stopped out the runner. It peaked back up. And then we get in again, and it's the same move. It's the same play, but what I don't risk is this move here. I don't risk getting caught offside. I take it, it works, we're out, we take it again, it fully works. Thanks very much, job done. I will not be taking another trade today. There's 30 minutes left. If this wants to come into New York VWAP, fantastic. Remember, this can now resume. If it really wants to resume a pro trend, it can. What I would personally like this to do is find a bid around 500 today. Anywhere around here, I would like this market, ideally, to stay boxed in here for me, because I am very greedy and I understand what happens if we can do this higher time frame. It will create an A+ setup for us Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, another 100-point trade and still not 1,000 likes yet. You over 300 points on stream, well over, no, probably 400 points on stream and no likes. Here, let's go. I sound like Pat Tate. 1 100-point trade, 2 100-point trades, 3 100-point trades, 4 100-point trades. And you can't hit a like button, which gets you a free account. Oh, God. I don't know. I don't know why any of you bother watching half the other stream. There are some, I'm sure, some great streamers out there, but most of them that I flick onto are absolutely shite. And that's not me being an asshole. I wonder what you guys are looking for. Validation normally is what people are looking for. Companionship's cool. That doesn't matter. You can watch them to have a laugh. But normally what happens is you're up here and you've decided you want to get long, and you hear Alex saying that there's probably a very good short happening up here soon. And you go, right, I'm going to leave Flow Zone Trader and I'm going to go and watch Top Step because they're going to tell me to long the top. And then you get hurt and you go, why did I do that? Why did I look for validation? I'm up 9,000 today with you. Help me slow down and truly look at what the market was doing. Nice, man. For a giveaway, do we need to... it doesn't matter, but we haven't started the giveaway yet either. Hi, Alex. I'm trying... let me get it up on my big screen. If you're still holding this, by the way, you want to see value and IB reject, and your targets will be VWAP, this node, and this node. I would not have expectations below that right now. I would like to see it just ping pong in here. That's what because I'm greedy. I'm not looking for another trade right now, but I would really like to see that for the day. So ideally we see some relief here back up. Let me just get through these questions because I've Got it on a small screen. Let's get it back on my main monitor because I'm not actively trading now. Okay. Does Lucid have a rule against group trading? No. You can group trade. Yeah, Rips is a good trader. Again, momentum trader who trades order flow. He's trading what's in front of him. Very aggressive, very big size, very good trader. Been around the block as well. Why did I take the short? You usually say, don't guess the top. Okay, my friend. Did you see me guessing a top up here? Think back to what happened. Did you see me saying I'm going to try here, try here, try here, try here, try here? If you rewind the tape, you will see me saying this grind all the way up is occurring because shorts are trying here and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding and adding, right? That's why shorts are doing why we're doing small moves up. What you saw me do was not pick a top, was leave volume trapped and trade down to the next level. And I told you probably honestly 10 times that when we leave 690, we will look for the trade back down to IB. Now the reason that is because it leaves the buyers above trapped, and in here there was a 600 lot seller offside. Once this seller is in the money, all we then have is buy side volume trapped. I did not guess the top. There is a difference between seeing the flow zones and trend move higher and trying to trade this and seeing us leave volume and trading this and this. There's a big difference. You will also notice, all right, that I sold this wick here, covered some here, and then took it off. I didn't add in, I didn't guess the top. I took it off and got back in when my trade was validated again. Yeah, big difference between what I just did and guessing a top. Massive difference. No problem. So can you let me know, just funded TPT accounts, when do they activate? End of day, mate. Before tomorrow's open, you'll get an email. I'm up 1,500 from minus 1,800 this earlier morning. Thank you, Alex. You're welcome. I'm out now. I'm out now, folks. Like, because I think we can rebalance some of this. We'll probably then, what is likely to happen here is one of two things. All right, we're likely to see this happen in here. So probably a push up, resold into, retest this. If they break this, they break down. If they reclaim this, new highs are possible. High probability move was here to here. You can hold runners if you really want to hold versus your break even point to see if they fail up here for a second leg on a retest. But if you think about this, we've held value, we've held IB. I would say from here, if they're going to sell it, they're going to need to sell it obviously in front of 690s and somewhere around here. But now, because we've retested this, you would have to be covering some into this block, which we've just created. All right. So if you take a resell here, it will have to be a cover down here. Any reclaim of 690s, you're no longer valid for a sell. What account? Yeah, I like the Lucid Flex, but each to their own. Each to their own. I made 5,200 on my funded accounts today, and I qualified for another TPT payout. Let's go. I love the course, love being here. Nice, John. Nice work getting those payouts, man. Just keep locking those in day after day. Take the money out, lock it in, reinvest it, make it work for you passive. Keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the job, right? That's the job. Now you're getting consistent. Pass an eval and hit 50% consistency on another, all on 2 micros. That's it, man. The range is so big right now. You do not need size. GG's from Kenya. Hey, nice, man. Thank you for locking in. I was trading ICT for half a year and struggled to pass an account. I fully switched to order flow last week, passed an account, and I'm up 1,000 and funded. Nice, man. Red zone is from hourly chart. Well, it's just from all higher time frames. So if I show you this zone, where do I need to grab you guys? Okay, think about this. Zoom out. Look left. Look at this inflection point. Look at what's happened here before. We found resistance here on May the 14th. We found resistance here on May the 22nd. We found support here on May the 26th. We found support here on May the 27th. We actually found a little bit of a bid here on Friday. If we zoom into Friday, you can see we put an hourly bar in before breaking down. So what do we know about this zone? Other than the fact it is a clear SNR level. All right, it's a clear SNR level. It's also the top of extended value, all right, from this 2-week balance range. This is a huge level. It's huge, right? If we think about a back test as well, it's probably a big level on a back test. All right, 800 was 50%, so we're getting towards that back test level, all right? So if we just think about this, if you were short last week, where are you going to cover? Good chunk into here, right? We don't expect market to move straight. We expect market to do this, all right? And then maybe we continue lower. Maybe we find a double bottom and we come back up. But we expect this move up into here. We can look at these moves on where we think they're going to go based on many, 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 many things. But some of the things we look at are SNR, support, or resistance, became support, now becomes resistance. All right, big level. We can look at value area low from 2 weeks ago, top of peak from 3 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago, 50% fib. All right, lots of confluence in here that we will probably see a reaction there or thereabouts. All right, so that's where it comes from. But we do not just short because it gets there. All right, I did not short this. I shorted this. All right, because we can go higher. Like we said, we can come up to 800s, 820s. It can do this. All right, we don't blindly short. We wait for the big boys, the whales, to show us their hand. And then we get in their slipstream. We take our money because we're day trading and we get out. You've had 4 trades of 100 points today by just getting in the slipstream. So all you've got to do, get in the slipstream for a moment. I said, I think they're probably, you're likely to see, I would say you're likely to see now this, and then probably a trade down to here from here. Now, if they reclaim this, there's no short back down. That just means a pivot and an up. All right, but you'll probably, I would imagine, at some point see something like retesting there because you've just broken away from it. But maybe not. Maybe they just set the squeeze and go. Probably depends on these semis who are back up to 220s again. If they squeeze semis out, then this thing's just going to keep going. Perfect example of not predicting but reacting to the market. Exactly. That is exactly it. Do I ever know that you're my hero? I'm not a good person to be a hero. Better heroes out there. Better people doing more stuff for the community. For the world. What do you see SPY going to? Well, again, 744 is the key level, right, on SPY. If they can hold the bid above 744, the mean reversion will be the 20-day trade up to 746. Right, but at the moment, they keep getting stuck at 744. Over that, they've priced in a move today, potentially to 750. Doesn't mean it gets there, but where we've kind of come in on the cues, that's where they're trying to get up to, 750. All depends on the broader market. I checked Top Step and they were long on that move. Are you actually serious, Kevin? Because I say that taken, were they? Oh my God. Alex, do you have any videos on my size and risk management? I feel like my winners, I always risk too little, and then on my losers, I always risk too much. That is probably because you're adding into a loser and not adding into a winner. That's probably why. So first way around that is to keep your risk control static. So decide what you're willing to risk on a trade. Maybe it's $200, right? So $200 on a trade, you're willing to risk that. If you're short here at 90s, right, and you're going to play like this edge here at 30s, right, you've got 40-point risk. Let's say you were going to risk that whole point. So you work out what sizing can I take for 40 points. You can probably take 3 contracts. 40 points, 20, 40, 60, 80, 80, one, yeah, 3 contracts. So you can take 3 micros. Near enough, just over. You take 3 micros for this trade here. All right, now if you get that full trade, let's just say you get 100 points of it. You just made $600, risking $200. I think it's 220, 80, 160, 240, risking 240. All right, so that's a good return. That's a good return. That's the way to do it. What you don't want to be doing, and you can add in, when you start to break away, you can add into these for the flushes. What you don't want to be doing is being front side, short here, and then adding into your losers, and it comes back down here and you get out break even. Or maybe you blow up at the top. Do not do that. Do not do that. I can keep telling you not to do it, but you're the one that has to not do it. I don't have opinions on other traders, folks. Like, there's very few traders I know. Most of the traders that I know in this space are not futures based. All right, most traders that I trade with are either big, large cap traders or small cap traders. And a lot of them have gone away by now. A lot of them are left. They've made their money. They've made their millions. I'm going to be the last one to make my money. The honourable flow zone has been granted the Unicorn NQ Cup. Yeah! Woohoo! Why America? We moved here for my wife's work. Have I ever tried to trade momentum small scalp penny stocks? Yeah, well, I used to trade penny stocks. White van indicator. Yeah, from now on, we're not going to do W's in chat. We're going to be like, unicorns in chat. Yeah, brother. I can't wait to show it to my mates back in London. All my community, they drop me unicorns, bruv. Unicorns, brother. Lewis Hamilton or Senna? Well, it's Lewis for me because that's the era. I didn't see much of Senna growing up, so it's Lewis for me. I grew up watching like Damon Hill, Mika Hakkinen, guys like that. Kimi, all the legends. Schumacher. Am I taking any more entries? No, not for me, my friend. Like, we're 10 minutes until lunch. We've had 4 banging trades. I don't need to force it. Like I said, they're being a bit naughty picking up there as far as they did. But there's probably a trade. They probably sort of balance in here. I would like to see them balance in here. I'd like to see them just stay in here. I'd certainly like to see them stay in here today. I don't really want them to move outside of this today. There is a reason for that, because it means tomorrow have really good trades. New nickname, ATM Alex, so I love it. Alex, thank you for the newsletter. I marked out the key zone before the market opened and it really helped for my entry. I bet it did. We were 7 points off. I bet it helped. I bet it helped. 1,200 likes. Yes, you have. Okay, we've got lots of likes in here. We have got lots of likes in here. We'll do some giveaways shortly. What time do I start the stream? 9:15. So 15 minutes before the New York Open. And I would say it's actually really important you get here for that time, because I go through what I do every day, which is my checklist. What are the levels? What are we looking for? What's the Mag 7 doing? What's the Dixie doing? What's the VIX doing? What are the semiconductors doing? What is our expectation on the day? What are the key levels we're looking at? What I don't do is come here at 6:30 and go, oh, there's a 30-second opening range trade, I'm long. What? No, not for me, mate. Maybe for you guys, but that's not how I trade. I like my levels to come in. I trade at key levels and key levels only. I try and ignore everything else outside of the key levels. Any suggestions, community? I always passed evals, but I blew funded on first week. Okay, Phantom, there's only a few reasons why you do that. One, psychologically, you're not able to deal with trading real money. Two, I'm not being offensive here, I'm just giving a potential reason. You don't actually know how to trade, and you are just rinsing through evals and passing them and getting lucky, and then you're trying to rinse through PA accounts or funded accounts, and you're not getting lucky. Three, you're oversizing. So you take like 2-3 losses in a row and that's you done. Or four, you're just scared to take the trade when it comes in, and so you either chase, so you get a worse entry, or you fight. Those are the only reasons. If you can pass evals and fail funded accounts, those are the only reasons. That's just me being honest. It doesn't have to be all of those reasons, but it's one of those reasons. Have I ever used Thinkorswim? I used to use Thinkorswim 7 years ago. Alex, I love you, mate. You've contributed so much to my trading by just listening and being careful for free on YouTube. I have 2 funded at the same time for the first time, and I'm getting payouts. Nice, man. Nice, 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 nice. You're scared. You know, if it's psychological, you just need time in the market. So my best advice to you would be size down the most you can. You play 1 micro. Do not even play more than 1 micro if you're scared, and get used to building up tolerance. All right. You don't go to the gym and go on the bench press and be like, right, 300 pounds, let's go. My skinny ass is going to press it, right? You start slow. You build your reps up. It's the same as this. You build the reps up. Why do you think I've got the tolerance to ignore this and trade that and stop out and trade that and make the winner? It's because I'm fucking old, mate. I've been doing this a long time, right? So when I used to start, you know, I'd probably fight it. And then eventually I'd stop fighting it, and then I'd be like, oh, I'm too scared to take it. And then after more time, I'd take it with 1 micro and probably cover it here. And then after more time, I'd take it with 1 micro and cover it here. And then after more time, 1 micro and cover it here. And then 2 micros and cover it here. And then 3 micros and cover 1 and cover 1. And then suddenly you're in a position where you're taking 1 mini, adding a mini, covering 2, taking it off, right? It's reps. It's reps. This is work. It's real life work. It does not come easy like this. Anyone, I can't stand the social media telling you guys that this is easy. Just do this, you'll make bollocks. Absolute bollocks. This is the hardest job in the world. I'm going to be real with you. This is the hardest job in the world. It's the only job where you're not going to be guaranteed income and you're going to be your own worst enemy. But I promise you, is if you can get through that, and you're able to look in yourself in the mirror, and you're able to reflect, and you're able to stop doing the bad habits and just do more of the easy, good stuff, not only are you going to make more money and be a better trader in time, you're going to become a better person. You're going to learn patience. You're going to learn tolerance. You're going to see the weaknesses that you didn't know existed. You're going to understand your greedy little habits that you never realized before. You're going to understand your fear of failure that you didn't know you had, right? All these things are going to wash out, and eventually you're going to fix them, or you're not going to fix them and you're going to fail at trading. Hey, that's okay. For some people, that's what happens. They never fix those habits and they fail at trading. That's also a possibility. It's a very real possibility. Hopefully it's not for you guys, but that is a real possibility. Oh, look what we're doing. All right, grey box failure. We're coming back down in. All right, and now it's really a chance for bulls. We'll need to protect these. Right, now why did I say this is probable that we see this? Because first short, that's your first bounce short. If I was a bull, I'd be trying to protect this. If they can't protect it, we're going to come right back down and in again. Again, I'm done for the day. I've made my money. Don't need to keep forcing. What time frame is my volume profile chart? This is a 1 minute you're looking at here. It's 1 minute. When a 50% win rate and a 1R in props, can I get payout unlike a real live account due to the convex payout structure? Are you risking your 1-to-1R? I mean, can't it? Really, it depends how lucky you get, right? Probably not. If you're doing 50% win rate and 1R, you're going to be flat the whole time. What you're really asking is, how many times do I roll the dice in a row where I hit 50-50? All right, if we're going to flip a coin, that's what you're saying to me. Heads or tails, heads or tails, heads or tails, heads or tails, heads or tails. That's what you're doing, right? With only a 50% win rate, what you've got to hope is basically that you go, you bet on heads, you hit heads, 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 and then you take your payout. Because if you go heads, tails, you're not moving that account. You're not moving it. I've gone over SpaceX a million times, guys. I'm not going to keep talking about SpaceX. You guys keep asking. I've told you my feeling on it. How have I not made my millions? Well, I've made a decent chunk. I've made a decent chunk. I think my trading's really come on a lot. My swings are paying me. Let's just say I'll get there this year. Soon. I will get there this year. But I'm talking about multiples, right? I reckon 5's the magic number. 5's in cash. 5 mil in cash is the magic number. You do that based on the 4% rule. It's 250 grand a year from doing absolutely nothing. That's the magic number. Alex, I'm about to get a payout on Wednesday from Lucid. I've been trading since 5 years in futures, but listening to sensible talk, I got a payout and a secured upcoming ones as well. Nice, man. John B says, in my experience, the pain will eventually become a powerful motivator to change. Size down, and when trading poorly or being undisciplined, size back up and reward yourself for following a plan. Spot on, mate. Spot on, my friend. Spot on. I'll do the giveaway shortly. Give me a chance, mate. It is my stream after all. I'm allowed to read what people are saying. Let's not push Alex to do stuff because you're impatient and you want your chance to win. Let me just read a few more of these questions and answer people. The red box is at the previous week value area high. It is not the previous week value area high. You need to zoom out like we talked about on the H1. You need to look at the peaks from Thursday the 14th, from Tuesday the 26th, and from Thursday the 28th. All right, though it's the peak formation from that. All right. One second, folks. Sorry, guys, had to take that. All right. Well, you guys were patient. Now you got more chance of winning because everyone just left. So let's set that up. All right, we'll do. What should we do? We'll do a free Apex account first. FZT. So just type it once in chat. It's your best code to use for all the prop firms. Other than Take Profit Trader, you can use code FlowZone over there. But for everyone else, FZT. Apex is still a 90% sale, I think. I think I got that right. So you got a couple minutes. Please don't spam the chat. You only need to put it in once. If you spam the chat, it just auto pulls you out. All right, so there's the rotation we talked about as well. The hold of IB, like we talked about. So it was the high probability move, right? Was the first bounce short. For those of you interested, you actually had a peak formation here. First bounce short, back down to here. Bid comes in here. Like I said, if I was a buyer, I'd be trying to protect this. And I'd like to see this just build out liquidity today. Just build out liquidity for the rest of the day. High probability moves have kind of gone. You've had the easy money. Oh, thank you for the gift. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Super kind. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Biz Crisis 40. All right, are you here? Biz Crisis 40. Let me know you're here for your free Apex account. Nice. Okay, Biz Crisis. Shoot me an email, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube, and I'll sort you out with a free Apex account. All right, so just send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube. info@flowzonetrader.com. All right, we'll do another giveaway. We're going to do the course giveaway, just the introduction to trading course. Good for someone who's never, ever, ever traded or invested before. Very, very basic 2-hour course. We'll give that away for free. So just type course in once. And the other thing to know right now, I am giving away a free Lucid 50K eval. I posted a video at the weekend on YouTube. All you got to do is watch that video, leave me a comment about that video, make sure you're subscribed and hit like, and we're going to pull that at the end of the month as well. So lots of free giveaways. And there's a 150K giveaway on my X platform. So I'm trying to give lots back to you guys at the moment. Give you guys a couple more minutes. Tell you what, that 20-day retest was pretty good for the mean reversion as well. Look at the Confluence up at these levels. Ding, 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 ding. Hello, Mr. 20-day. Look at that. So good. Mean reversion complete. Job done. Market's done everything it needs to do. All right, we'll pick the winner of this course. Rick Med 1220. Rick Med. Are you here, Rick Med? Yeah, nice. All right, introduction to trading on the way to you. Same thing for you, my friend. Email me, info@flowzonetrader.com. Just send me a screenshot of you logged into YouTube. For you guys that are short up here, all right, as long as you've covered some into IB, best possible circumstance here, all right, is that this first bounce short gets resold into for a breakdown, and you need to cover some into New York view up in this low volume node. And if for some reason they drop it like it's hot, you're going to come right the way back down into here today. I selfishly hope that they don't do that, because I will be looking for a push tomorrow, which traps a lot of buyers in. So you should be TP1, TP2, and then runners down to here. All right. You guys want to know which video to watch? I'll post it. It was the most recent one. Post a link in stream. All right, this video. If you watch that video, it's only short. I just posted. And leave a comment and like it and subscribe. And you'll be in a good spot to maybe win a 350k eval. Am I expecting more fall as we have previous week? Red candle, more fall. I don't understand what you mean. Today, tomorrow? I'm expecting a retest of value area lows and maybe extension for some other ones later in the week. I'm not expecting it today. We'll see. Maybe I don't get what I want. Did I catch Friday? Yes, not as. I didn't think we were going to fail as much as we did, but we had about 300 points short on Friday, which is about 1,000 points short of what we could have done. But there we go. All right, team, that's me out of here. I've got to get out of here, walk the dog. I will see you same time tomorrow morning, right? Do not overstay your welcome today, all right? You've had the high probability moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 winners in a day. Do you need to stay longer than that? Asking for a friend? Probably not. All right, save your capital, save your mental capital. We'll go again tomorrow morning. Be smart, be safe. Those in Discord, oh, I just see my wife there. Hello, darling. Those in Discord, I will see you straight after this. I'm going to have to walk the dog and then I'll be on. Big love, everyone. Take care. See you soon. Use hard stops.